Little hands, shoeless feet, lonely eyes looking back at me. Will we leave behind the innocent to grieve? On their own, on the run, when their lives have only begun. These could be our daughters and our sons. And just like a drum, I can hear their hearts beating. I know my God won't let them be defeated. Every child has a dream to belong and be loved. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love the least of these, then they will be brave and free. Shout your name in victory. When we love the least of these, when we love the least of these. Break our hearts once again. Help us to remember when we were only children hoping for a friend. Won't you look around? These are the lives that the world has forgotten, waiting for doors of our hearts and our homes to open. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love the least of these, then they will be brave and free. Shout your name in victory. When we love the least of these, when we love the least of these. If not us, who will be like Jesus to the least of these? If not us, tell me who will be like Jesus to the least of these. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love. Little hands, shoeless feet, lonely eyes looking back at me. Will we leave behind the innocent to grieve? On their own, on the run, when their lives have only begun. These could be our daughters and our sons. And just like a drum, I can hear their hearts beating. I know my God
Good morning and welcome to the King's Report this Friday, May 5th, 2017, 8th year of Chungi, 4th month, 10th day by the heavenly calendar. I'm your host, Hung Sean Moon, the second king of Chaniguk. Let's go first to our AccuWeather forecast with Tim, the agent elder. Tim.
Good morning. It's a rainy morning this morning at the Cheonggyegung, although not as
Is it
cold
rainy?
as yesterday.
Is it raining?
It is raining.
It's a little bit rainy.
Yes, a light rain is falling on Cheonggyegung right now, but we'll have periods of heavy rain during the day.
Heavy rain. Wow, today's raining.
Yes, it'll be raining most of the day, either lightly or heavily. So the morning is not as cold as yesterday, but the afternoon high will not be as high as yesterday either. It's only going to go up to 59 degrees today, and then tonight not so cold again. It's 56 degrees. But we're going to get in some really cool weather because next week, Monday, Tuesday, it's going to get down into the mid-30s during the nights. During the nights.
Wow, mid-30s.
Yes.
Holy Shemitah.
Yes, down near the freezing point, but maybe not that low, we hope.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I just wanted to point out that in
Do
other
we have
areas,
some world weather as well?
well, Arkansas is not. I know Arkansas is part of the world, but they have so much flooding now that the governor's called out the National Guard.
Wow. And they just had tornadoes come through here last week. Actually through Pennsylvania and of course
Yes.
through the south as well. Okay, Tim, thank you for that. Morning knowledge of the meteorological realities. Do you like my vocabulary?
Yes, I do.
Now, I have to recommend these amazing sausages. These are great for bushcraft camping or just snacking in general. Unbelievable. I picked these up. Okay, this is Duke's hot and spicy smoked sausages, smoked shorty sausages. I picked these up when I was going on to Colorado at the airport. They sell these now because now they sell non-GMO stuff. So this is no hormones added, no nitrates added, clean pork. And guess what? It's distributed in Boulder, Colorado, but it's made by this guy. Anyways, very tasty. We start with fresh, never frozen pork that's never been given added hormones. Slow smoke with cherry and hickory wood blend that pairs perfectly with peppery sausage kick, etc. And then they have batch case quantity, slow dried. This is the spicy version because we're Korean. We like the spicy version. Okay, I can't believe how moist these are. Okay, obviously they come in a nice tight skin. They're great to put in a pack for bushcrafting. But I can't believe how moist these are. Way better than Slim. You know, Slim Jims are completely processed, completely hormonal, completely chemical. These are all natural like this, but they're so moist. It really tastes like a natural pork. So I've been very impressed with this. It's probably one of the only sausages or smoked sausage that the Queen likes. She actually likes this smoke flavor. We had the regular flavor, but she actually likes the smoke flavor. Now, what's this? Oh, is this the live? Is this the live broadcast on? Okay, our tech team had the live broadcast on. God is so good. What can I say? Peppers, that's all natural. Pork, that's natural. One pig can produce like 20 pigs per year. Isn't that incredible? One pig can produce 20. That's why in the pioneer days, the pioneers and the frontiersmen, when they homesteaded, they had, of course, vegetables for gardens and things for vegetables. But they would raise pigs almost unequivocally because the pigs reproduce so fast. They eat almost anything, and they produce so much sustenance and food for your family. So you can do a lot with just even 4 pigs, a pair of pigs. You can do a tremendous amount with a pair of pigs. You can have so much like abundance of food. Anyways, it's an amazing, amazing, amazing animal. So we thank God this morning for the wonderful sausages and the helping hands that help create it. All right, folks, we are in Revelation 8 and 12 today. Now, this is a part of a whole series, okay? This is the part of the trumpets. My rhema fell upon fourth trumpet today. But let's look at some of the subheadings here. This is after the seventh seal has been broken. And the first trumpet is the vegetation struck. The second trumpet is the seas or the oceans struck. The third are the waters that are struck. And the fourth trumpet, here we go. Then the fourth angel sounded, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them were darkened. A third of the day did not shine, and likewise the night. And I looked, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the remaining blasts of the trumpet of the three angels who are about to sound. And then the remaining trumpets are the fifth trumpet, the locust from the bottomless pit. Sixth trumpet, the angels from Euphrates, and the mighty angel with the seventh trumpet, the kingdom proclaimed. There you go. Now, today is usually our trekking day. Today's Friday, and today's trekking day, but I have a little bit of a chill today. I have a little bit of a chill cold coming on. In Korea, we call it momsat. How do you translate that, momsat? In English, a chill, right? Chill cold.
A chill, yeah, or just maybe a flu.
Anyway, it's weird because a chill could just be, I just feel chill for just a moment. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like a chill and a cold, right? It's kind of something like that. So I don't know if I'm going to do trekking tonight. The Queen is going to be going with Christina to choose a wedding dress. Christina, our girl, is going to get a wedding dress today.
Wow.
She's one of our ninjas. And she is going to get married and blessed. How beautiful is that? And she's going wedding dress shopping today. How wonderful, how cute is that? Okay, so now we're back to the fourth trumpet here. And the Bible here is talking about the angel that opens the fourth trumpet, that alerts with the fourth trumpet. A third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, a third of the stars, a third of the day did not shine, and likewise a third of the night. It says, and likewise the night. So I guess that means, and the night obviously did not shine. And the angel through the midst of heaven saying in a loud voice, Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because the remaining blast of the trumpet of the three angels who are come. We see in the book of Revelation, and this is all coming forth through the seventh trumpet here. There's interesting here. There's a subsection here that says, We give you thanks, O Lord God Almighty, Revelation 11. Dr. James Kennedy, influential pastor of Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church in Florida, stated, in reading over the constitutions of all 50 of our states, I discovered there is in all 50, without exception, an appeal or a prayer to the Almighty God of the universe. Through all 50 state constitutions, without exception, there runs the same appeal and reference to God who is the creator of our liberties and preserver of our freedoms. There you go. Now, the seventh trumpet, the kingdom proclaim. Look at this. This is the last trumpet. And there were loud voices in heaven saying, The kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders who sat before God on the thrones fell on their faces and worshiped God, saying, "We give you thanks, O Lord, the one who is and who was and who is to come, because you have taken your great power and reigned. The nations were angry, and your wrath has come. At the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that you should reward your servants, the prophets, and the saints, and those who fear your name, small and great, and should destroy those who destroy the earth." Then the temple of God was opened in heaven, and the ark of his covenant was seen in his temple. And there were lightnings, noises, thunderings, an earthquake, and a great hail. Wow. There you go. So that was the mighty trumpets. Now let's see where the seals are. The 7 seals, I believe. There we go. I'm sorry, the bowls. I'm sorry, the bowls then come after in Revelation 16. But the trumpets sound, that is before the 2 witnesses, and that is after the multitude from the Great Tribulation. Now, everything in the book of Revelation, of course, is not simply in chronological order. And, of course, this is talking about the great end times, when there is much chaos in the world. There are also natural disasters. There are also supernatural events. The point is that this is all preparation for the coming kingdom of God. You can even see it in the Revelation 7 here. I'm sorry, not 7. In the 7th trumpet. The kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ. But notice he hasn't come yet. The Lord has not come, because right after that, they say, the one who is and the one who was and the one who is to come. See that? So he hasn't come yet. But it's interesting. The kingdoms of this world have become kingdoms of our Lord and his kingdom of his Christ. So the trumpets lead up to that. The 7th trumpet being that final one. The vegetation, the seas, waters, heavens, locusts, the angels from the Euphrates, and then the kingdoms proclaim. In the final trumpet, the kingdoms are seized. The kingdoms are proclaimed, the Bible says, proclaimed. You could even say the kingdoms are claimed. Claimed. As the loud voices say, the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. It's amazing that even in Korea now, there is amazing miracles that are happening. One brother got a revelation that he is to, especially when I was speaking, as Father's representative and heir and successor, and second king of Chanigu, telling them, sit in your seat. Otherwise the devil will come and sit in it. And he heard that, and he said, I guess he was listening to it at night, or whatever. He heard that, and then he got such a powerful revelation prompting from God that said he has to sit in the seat of the president. So he's thinking, and he's just a normal guy out there in the I guess the rural area of Korea. And so he decided, what will I do? So he prayed and prayed and prayed, and he was, ruminating and contemplating what he should do. And the Spirit of God led him to realize that he needs to symbolically at least set the condition to attend the 3 kingships at the Blue House, which is the White House of Korea. But how would he do that? He doesn't have access to Blue House. He doesn't have access to government, etc. But it was interesting. In his town or in his area, there is a Hollywood set basically the Korean Hollywood set,
Movie set where they shoot movies, yeah.
where they shoot movies. And there is a model of the Blue House there. So he went there as a tourist, etc. Yeah, essentially. He brought the Three Kingships picture. He also brought his crown. And then he sat in that Blue House president seat symbolically with the Three Kingships, with the crown. And he sent us a picture of that as a form of dedication and at least being responsive to God's prompting. You see? That's where God does miracles. But what is he doing? What is God prompting his people to do now? Prompting them to claim back the kingdoms. Claim them. What an interesting movement. Let's just say you're looking at it from the outside in, okay? What a fascinating movement. Where all the people under Father's authority, under Reverend Sun Myung Moon's authority, okay, if you're looking from the outside in, start this whole thing about wearing crowns, right? Because they have the wacky heir and successor and bald, Representative Heir and bald man, who is Reverend Sun Myung Moon's successor, and he wears crowns, and he wears dapper suits, and also, oh man, I gotta show everybody my cool tactical jacket that came yesterday. Oh, it's so sweet. $50, such quality gear. I can't believe how well they made that thing. It's from China, okay? I admit it's from China, even though I hate Chinese totalitarian,
You hate the
archangel.
Chinese Communist Party.
I do love Chinese people.
Yes.
Okay, Chinese people are wonderful. They're just so indoctrinated, oppressed, and beat up. But anyways, how did I jump off on that one? How did I jump off?
$50 jacket.
No, I don't know. I was just talking right before the. Oh, okay. So God's prompting was moving there, and this is all about claiming our kingdoms. Huh? We were looking at this from the outside in. How interesting that would be to see this movement that is now, where all these people are now standing up and claiming royalty, and at the same time, in places where they can, they're learning true sovereignty. They're owning private property, okay? They're exercising their Second Amendment rights of the right to bear arms. They're exercising their sovereignty to territory. They're exercising their mind and heart and spirit in the idea of human rights and liberty, responsibility, of a future kingdom that they call Cheonilgu. And look at all of them with their crowns, saying that they stand with authority over the power structures of this world, and that in the future, God's kingdom will come. Bam! Bam! That is tremendous. And the Bible says here that the fourth trumpet kind of led us to the seventh trumpet, which is the last one, in claiming the kingdoms of this world, claiming them. We talked about the royal family of England, which is not really English, which is from the House of Windsor, which is German, and they're from the Goth-Saxburg line. Prince, what is it? Philip, yes, Philip, who's in the news yesterday. Look, a total demon. I mean, he looks like a demon. Get a picture of Prince Philip, guys. He looks like a actual vampire. I mean, the guy looks like Count Dracula. Okay, let's skip this break. I need a little more time. The guy looks like Count Dracula, and he is the descendant of Vlad the Impaler. Is that Prince Charles or Prince Philip? I think it's Charles. Charles is the descendant of Vlad the Impaler. But look at Philip. Look at Prince Philip. Look at this super elite demon. I mean, look at that. If you had a movie and you were casting somebody who would look like Count Dracula, you would choose this man. Okay? Because he is. I mean, at least their royal bloodline, their quote royal bloodline is actually connected to Vlad the Impaler, who was a Transylvania bloodthirsty king, monarch. Oh my gosh. And of course, I'm not only saying that to make fun of him. This is the guy, okay, that says he wants to be reborn as a virus so that he can depopulate the world. Let's go get that quote. Get that quote by, type in Prince Philip depopulation. And he literally said he would love to come back as a virus so he can kill people. This is his loving view as the monarch, one of the monarchs of Britain, who are not even British, who are Goth-Saxburg, German bloodline, all the way to Transylvania, blood-drinking monarchs. Little children's blood drinking. I mean, literally, the history of Transylvania, the reason why Count Dracula comes out of that as a mythological tale is because these dang royals actually killed babies to drink their blood so that even the women believed that they would become fairer skinned and more beautiful, healthy by drinking blood. Here you go, here you go. In the event that I'm reincarnated, I would like to return as a treasury virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation. Alright, the compassionate king, Prince Philip. Demon! There he is. He wrote that in the Deutsche Press in August 1989. He said he wants to be reincarnated as a deadly virus to contribute to solve overpopulation. That means to murder, to eat and devour, to end the life of, to kill people. These are demonic, satanic kings who rule and reign over with their central governments and central power over the people of this world. They are the false inheritors and the illegitimate betrayers, those who sell their souls for power. The Bible warns those demons that their kingdoms shall be claimed. Kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ. And he shall reign forever and ever. Amen. That is the power of Almighty God and his people whom he bestows his authority. It is that time and that day, folks. That's happening in Chanyaguk. Unbeknownst to the demons of this earth, under the radar of their wicked, glaring eyes, are the kingdoms of Chanyaguk rising up, bubbling up from the depth of the sea, not yet to be manifest, but bubbling up as the people of God stand with the King of Kings and his kingship, to stand as a tribal kings and queens, as tribal messiahs and kings and queens, and reclaim and claim sovereignty and authority over the kingdoms of the earth. We'll be right back after this short break.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology, it's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood, the history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun, to the best in compact concealed carry, Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name. At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name. At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name. At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And we are back. As Tim groans in the corner here. Tim was groaning in the corner.
I was getting right off the sausage just as we came back on air.
I was right about to bite the sausage. And my hands were tied. Groaning in the corner. All right, folks, we are back. We have too much fun on that Games Report. Even though I have a chill and a little bit of a mumside coming on, I still feel pretty good. I got long undie on right now, both top and bottom, to keep myself thermoregulated and warm. Thank you for joining us Friday, May 5th. Today, 2017, I am your host, Hyungjin Sean Moon, the second king of Chaniguk, and I will now turn it over to Mrs. Kang for her beautiful Holy Spirit moment. Tim.
Mrs. Kang is reading this morning from Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 37. Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
안녕하십니까.
Good morning, everyone.
오늘 말씀의 내용은 옛 아버님의 말씀입니다. 이거는 새 말씀은 아니고 아버님께서 하셨던 그 말씀 30여 년 전에 하셨던 말씀이기에 아주 여러분들이 잘 듣고 나면은 심오한 내용, 즉 여러분들이 이해가 안 되실 내용도 있으리라고 생각되어지는데 어쨌든 오늘 옛날 하셨던 아버님의 말씀을 새로 한번 상기해 보면은 좋겠습니다.
This morning, I'd like to convey to you some words of our true father. These are not my words, but a true father's words that he spoke more than 30 years ago. And some of this content is very deep and profound, and you may not understand all of it, but I hope that you will listen carefully to these words.
한두 사람을 선도하더라도 개인이나 국가를 대상으로 하는 것이 아니라 세계적인 사명을 띠고 전해야 한다는 것을 언제나 생각해야 할 것입니다.
Even when you are witnessing to one or two people, don't think that you are simply witnessing to an individual or even to a whole nation, but rather that you are that this is in the context of your world mission.
내가 지금 아버지의 한을 풀어드리지 못하면 죽어서라도 풀어드려야 하겠다는 마음을 가지고 있는 자에게는 후손들이 복을 받을 것입니다.
A person can have the determination to relieve God of his resentment now, that even if at the cost of his life, then the person will bring blessings from God to his descendants.
적을 대하여 싸우려면은 첫째 자신이 있어야 하고 둘째는 의분심이 있어야 하고 셋째는 용맹이 있어야 합니다.
If you're going to fight an enemy, first of all, you have to have confidence, and you have to have a righteous heart, and then you also have to be brave.
용맹!
예수님께서는 아버지로 오신 분이었으나 우리는 그분을 아버지라고 부를 수 없었습니다.
Jesus came as the Father, but we were never able to call him Father.
하늘은 항상 우리를 불렀어도 우리는 귀가 먹어 눈이 멀어 거기에 금방 응하지 못할 때가 많았습니다.
Even though there were many times when, even though heaven was calling to us, our ears were closed, and so we were not able to respond.
최후에는 오직 아버지와 나와의 관계만이 문제가 됩니다.
In the end, the only issue is my relationship with my Father.
천지의 십자가, 하늘 땅의 십자가를 내가 지겠다는 귀한 신념을 가지는 자에게는 하나님이 영계가 꼭 함께 하시고 협조해 주시는 것입니다.
If there's a person who says that he will take responsibility for all the crosses of the world, then in the end, God and all of the spirit world will cooperate with that person.
예수님께서 십자가에 돌아가실 때에 역사를 짊어지고 가셨습니다.
When Jesus died on the cross, he carried the whole of human history with him.
예수님은 아담을 지고 가셨고 노아, 아브라함, 모세 수많은 선조들을 지고 가셨습니다.
He took with him Abraham, with Noah and Moses and Adam.
또 그때까지의 세계적인 모든 환란을 지고 가셨습니다.
And he took with him all the tribulation that had occurred in the world up until that time.
참 부모는 누구냐 하면은 바로 인류의 조상입니다.
The true parents are the ancestors of humanity.
세계 인류의 아버지와 어머니가 되시고 또 더 나아가서는 부모의 역사는 바로 자식의 역사입니다.
They are the father and mother of humanity, and the work of the providential work of the parents is the providential work of the children.
통일교회에 들어왔다가 10 가운데 9은 다 떨어졌습니다. 그들은 세계를 개척하는 사명을 했는데 그 사람들이 재물이 된 것입니다.
9 out of 10 people who originally joined the Unification Church fall away. Even though they had the mission to save the world, they eventually became the sacrifice.
아버님께서는 지금까지 은혜 받은 많은 사람을 심판하셨는데 그 심판이라는 것은 아버님이 참의 말씀을 하셨는데 그것을 참으로 받아들이지 못한 사람은 다 심판을 받게 되었던 것입니다.
Father has judged many people until now, even though that is done when Father speaks the truth, but people are not able to accept that as the truth. Those people receive judgment.
타락은 종을 잃어버리고 또 천사장은 종입니다. 축복을 잃어버렸습니다.
The archangel is the servant, but the blessing was lost.
자녀를 잃어버렸는데 그 자녀가 누구냐면은 효자 중에도 효자였고 충신 중에도 충신이었습니다.
And the children were lost, and the children who were lost were the most filial of all children and the most patriotic of all subjects.
만물도 잃어버리고 또 더 나아가서는 인간 편에서 볼 때는 하나님 아버지도 잃어버렸습니다.
All things were lost, and also we lost the Father.
또 참부모도 잃어버렸습니다.
And we lost true parents.
믿음의 내용은 피조 세계를 찾기 위한 것입니다.
The content of faith is to establish the created world,
천주를 찾기 위한 것입니다.
and it is to establish the cosmos.
돈 몇천만 원을 한꺼번에 잃었다 하여도 문제가 되지 않지만 맨 밑바닥으로 떨어져 내려온 인간을 구원하려니 맨 밑바닥에서 출발할 수밖에 없었던 것입니다.
Losing tens of thousands of dollars is not such a big issue. Much bigger issue is how to save a person who has fallen to the lowest of possible point. To do that, one has to go to that lowest possible point.
아버님께서는 남들이 먹다 걸려 넘어지는 가시를 먹고도 사실 수 있는 그런 자신이 있다고 했습니다.
Father is confident that he can swallow a thorn that got caught on other people's throat and caused them to die, but still, Father can swallow that thorn and survive.
예수님께서는 친지를 잡수실 때도 하나님이시여 제가 밥을 먹사오니 아브라함의 제단에 올려졌던 삼제물로 받아주시옵소서 하는 심정을 가지셨던 것입니다.
When Father would have a meal, he would pray, "Dear Father, please let me be the sacrifice on the altar."
주님은 십자가로 가셨으니 오실 때도 십자가로 오시는 것입니다.
The Lord went the way of the cross, so when he returns, he will come the way of the cross.
온 세계 인류를 내가 아니면 살릴 수 없다. 인류의 운명은 내 손에 달려 있다. 내가 아니면 안 된다고 할 수 있어야만 합니다.
We must be able to say, to tell ourselves that the fate of all humanity depends upon us.
하나님이 우리의 아버지가 되시기 위하여 얼마나 애쓰셨는지 모릅니다.
You have no idea how hard God has worked to become our Father.
세계를 헤매이시면서 우리를 찾아오셨다는 것을 우리는 알아야 할 것입니다.
That he has no matter what happened, he could come to us.
여러분이 사무친 심정으로 눈물을 흘리며 내게 인사를 하면 나는 인사를 받지 못합니다.
Even though you may try to greet me with a sincere heart, I may not be able to receive that greeting.
그것을 모르는 사람은 아버님은 참 도도하고 교만하다고 할지 모르지만은 내가 인사를 받았는데도 내가 그의 정성보다 못하면은 내가 심판을 받는 것입니다. 이것이 무서운 것입니다.
If the sincerity is not as great as that person's, then I will be judged. That is a fearful thing.
오늘 우리 식구들은 눈물과 더불어 하나님의 고통을 상속받아야 합니다.
Our members today must inherit not only God's heart, but also His suffering and His pain.
1962년 헌공식을 하고 나서는 자기의 소유 관념을 버리고 살아야 합니다.
After the ceremony in 1962 to return ownership to God, then we must live with the idea that we have no ownership.
모든 것이 내 것이 아니고 아버지의 것이라고 생각하고 살아야 하는 것입니다.
We must think that nothing belongs to us, but rather everything belongs to God, to the Father.
1963년 4월 13일에 협회 등록의 선포식을 했습니다.
The registration of our church was accomplished in 1963, and this was declared then.
우리는 하나님의 슬픔을 주고 찾아온 존재들입니다. 하나님의 슬픔을 주고 사온 존재들입니다.
We are people that Father has won back to Himself through His suffering.
이 자리는 하나님의 슬픔 전체를 상속받는 자리입니다.
And this position is a position where we inherit God's sorrow in its entirety.
교회 물건을 마음대로 처분하는 자는 천지를 유린하는 자입니다.
Those who sell the assets of the church without permission, without authorization, are people who betray the heaven and earth.
3년은 자녀를 찾는 기간이요 4년은 땅을 찾는 기간입니다. 이것을 합하면은 7년이 되는데 이 7년이 대환란 기간입니다.
The first 3 years is the period for establishing children. The next 4 years is the period for establishing the earth. A total of 7 years, and this 7 years is the period of tribulation.
하루도 아닌 한 많은 6천 년을 저희의 선조들 때문에 오늘날 땅 위에 살고 있는 수많은 인간들 때문에 그리고 천상세계의 탄식권 내에 머물러 있는 수많은 영인들 때문에 수고해 오신 아버지의 그 거룩한 은사를 생각할 때에 아버지 앞에 황공하오며 불초한 죄인인 것을 다시 한번 우리는 알고 직고해야 할 것입니다.
And we think of how hard God has worked for us, how hard He has worked to restore us and to bring us salvation. It makes us ashamed in His presence.
아버지, 그 아버지의 음성에는 무한한 슬픔이 숨어 있사옵고 아버지의 심정에는 통탄하고 가슴이 막히는 억울한 사정이 어리어 있음을 우리는 알아야 합니다.
We need to know how deep the sorrow is that is imbued in God's voice.
그 주인은 역사의 전부를 쉬고 있는 분입니다.
The owner is the person who takes upon himself the entirety of history.
시대적인 모든 전체의 가치를 죽어도 바꿀 수 없는 분이십니다.
He is a person who cannot be exchanged. His value is greater than anything in this world, and even greater than the entire universe.
천지를 대표하는 주인이시요 하나님의 섭리를 대표하는 분이십니다.
He is the person who represents heaven and earth, and he represents the entire providence of God.
천만 가지의 물건을 가졌다 할지라도 그것을 가진 기쁨을 잃어버린 때는 정말로 부모를 찾은 기쁨과 환희의 마음에 비교될 수 없는 것입니다.
Even if we possess millions of things, tens of millions of material things, it cannot be compared to the joy that we will feel when we finally are able to find our parents.
근본적인 문제는 통일교회가 문제이고 자기 자신이 문제라는 것을 언제나 느껴야 합니다.
We must always remember that the fundamental issue is the Unification Church and each individual himself or herself.
돈이라는 것이 자기의 신용을 팔아먹고 인격을 팔아먹고 자유를 팔아먹는 시대가 온다는 것입니다.
The time will come when money will represent we are ourselves selling our souls or selling our freedom.
뜻을 위한 명령이 우리 앞에 떨어질 때는 언제나 예스 하여야 합니다. 노가 없어야 되는 것입니다.
We must always answer yes. We must never answer no when we are given a mission in the will of God.
그 명령에 순종하는 자신, 그 명령에 순종하는 우리가 내게는 필요합니다.
I need a group of people who will be obedient to that kind of order or command.
너는 역사 앞에 부끄럽지 않느냐? 시대적인 사망 권내에서 아우성 치고 갈구하며 절규하는 자신의 모습이 부끄럽지 않느냐?
Aren't you ashamed of yourself in history? Aren't you ashamed of the way that you have been living?
하늘 땅 앞에 부끄럽지 않느냐? 부끄럽지 않다고 하는 자는 외식하는 자입니다. 내 자신도 부끄러운데.
Those who say that they are not ashamed should be ashamed because I myself, even Father himself, is ashamed, feels ashamed.
나는 하나님의 아들이다. 혹은 딸이다. 하나님은 나의 아버지이시다. 하나님은 내 주인이요. 나 또한 주인이다. 할 수 있어야 합니다.
We must be able to say that I am the son of God, I am the daughter of God. God is my father. God is my owner. He is my master.
천지의 주인이 되어야 하고 만국의 주인이 되어야 하고 또 전 세계의 주인이 되어야 합니다.
We must become the owner of heaven and earth, become the owner of all the nations of the world. We must become the owner of the world itself.
오늘 여러분들은 옛날 그때는 30억 인류였어요. 오늘 70억 인류 어느 누구도 아버님이 아니면은 복귀 섭리는 할 수 없습니다. 대통령 할아버지도 이 일만큼은 할 수 없습니다. 오직 아버님만이 하시는 것입니다.
In this next quote, Father refers to the population of the world, which was 3 billion at the time that he spoke, but I will correct that to 7 billion. You must understand that there is no one among the 7 billion people of the world who can accomplish this. Only Father can do this.
아버님은 이 길을 나설 때에 예수님의 십자가 곡에 이상의 고통이 올지라도 물러나지 않겠다고 다짐을 했습니다.
When I began this path, when I started out on this path, I made a determination to myself that even if I came upon suffering that was even greater than Jesus on the cross, I still would not turn away from this path.
이 교회는 본부교회입니다. 구본부교회. 이 교회도 아깝지 않다. 이건 하루에 불이 10번 나도 아무 미련이 없습니다. 단지 필요한 것은 역사적인 재료입니다.
And Father spoke this next quote in the headquarters church in Cheongpadong. He said that this church, referring to that church building, this church is not what I value. Even if it were to burn down 10 times in a single day, I would not regret it. What I do need is all the material of history.
오늘 저녁에라도 1000명이 하늘의 명령 1000명이 떨어지면 뒤도 안 돌아보고 나는 떠납니다.
Even if I were to receive a command from heaven this evening, I would not think twice, but I would leave this place.
구본부교회 여기는 하늘과 더불어 땅과 더불어 천주 인류가 마음과 심정을 털어놓고 통곡하는 제단입니다.
This headquarters church is an altar which God and all of humanity can shed tears together.
제단은 비참한 것입니다. 역사적인 제단인 이 집에 들어올 때에 문 밖에서부터 눈물 흘리며 들어와야 할 집입니다.
The altar is a wretched place, a sorrowful place. And this church building is an altar. When you come into this church, you should begin to shed tears even before you enter the door.
앞으로 민족적인 대이동이 있습니다. 한국 사람은 흑인 세계에, 흑인은 한국에 와 살아야 합니다.
In the future, there will be a great migration in the world. Koreans will go to the areas of the world where black people live, and black people will come to Korea to live.
민족적인 관념, 주권적인 관념, 국가적인 관념을 모두 초월해야 합니다.
We must transcend all concepts of nation, of race, and of the world.
다 같은 것을 믿고 이런 사명을 맡기신 하늘이 얼마나 안타까워하고 계시며 얼마나 또 처량하다는 것도 여러분들이 느껴야 합니다.
Heaven has entrusted us with a tremendous mission. Think how worried and concerned heaven must be because of that.
나는 한 번 약속하면 요동이 없습니다. 내 가정을 버리는 한이 있더라도 한 번 믿고 약속한 것은 어길 수 없습니다.
Once I make a promise, I will never compromise on that promise. I will never turn away from it. Even if I have to sacrifice my entire family, I will not turn away from that promise.
종교인들은 죽음에 대한 공포를 생활 속에서 시간 처리해 나가는 것입니다.
Religious people are dealing with the threat of dying each moment of their daily lives.
하늘의 사명을 책임진 입장에서 나오다가 최종적인 결론에 이를 때에 어떻게 남아질 것이냐 하는 것을 생각해야 하는 것입니다.
They must think how they are going to accomplish the responsibility that they have been given to bring salvation to the world.
하나님은 심정, 사정, 소원을 일치시키기 위하여 인간을 창조하셨습니다.
God created human beings so as to bring a unity between His hope and desire and the reality in the world.
예수님은 모세 오경에 숨어 있는 하나님을 찾았습니다.
Jesus found and searched for the God that was hidden in the 5 books of Moses.
여러분은 예수님의 한을 풀어드리는 자가 되고 또 예수님의 친척이 되고 동생이 되어야 합니다.
You need to become people who can relieve Jesus of his resentment and also become his relative and his friend.
아버님은 아담, 예수, 재림주 3대에 걸쳐 사무친 원한을 총탕감해야 했습니다.
Father had to restore through indemnify all the resentment that was built up through Adam, Jesus, and the returning Lord.
이 3년 기간에 36, 72, 124가정을 축복해 주어야 합니다.
During this 3-year period, I have to bless 36 couples, 72 couples, and 124 couples.
그래서 3차에 걸친 세계적인 기준을 세워야 했습니다.
And so I had to establish the standard on the worldwide level on 3 occasions.
인간은 믿음, 심정, 실체를 잃어버리고 타락했습니다.
When human beings fell, they lost faith, they lost the heart.
앞으로 3년간은 승리적 주관자가 되자는 이런 표를 중심하고 우리들은 사력을 다하여 활동해야 하는 것입니다.
Over the next 3 years, we must devote all of our energies in order to become the owners of this world.
매월 이런식 저금하는 운동을 실천해야 합니다.
We have to establish a custom or a practice of saving a certain amount of money, a given amount of money every month.
우리는 3대를 모실 줄 알아야 하고 3대를 거느릴 줄 알아야 합니다.
We have to be able to attend to 3 generations and to also to supervise our 3 generations.
자기가 섬겨야 할 자를 놓고 섬겨야 할 자를 놓고 보고해서는 아니 됩니다.
We must not report to those who we should be serving.
위로 3대까지 자유로이 보고할 수 있는 것입니다.
We should be able to report to up 3 stages above ourselves in the organization.
축복을 받는 사람은 내 가정 하면 천주도 들어가 있는 것입니다.
Those who receive the blessing, then even our families also will be able to enter the heaven.
마음으로 주인으로서 행사할 수 있는 이런 사람이 되어야 할 것입니다.
And you need to become the owners who can accomplish what we have in our hearts.
성지와 성물을 지킬 줄 알아야 하며 또 더 나아가서는 축복 가정은 여러분이 지켜 주어야 합니다.
We must know how to protect holy ground and holy items, and we must also be able to protect the blessed families.
오늘은 여기까지만
I
하겠습니다.
will stop there for today.
고맙습니다.
Thank you very much.
And let's take a short break and be right back after this.
At break of day, in hope we rise. We speak your name.
break our hearts once again. Help us to remember when we were only children hoping for a friend. Won't you look around? These are the lives that the world has forgotten, waiting for doors of our hearts and our homes to open. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love the least of these, then they will be brave and free. Shout your name in victory. When we love the least of these, when we love the least of these, if not us, who will be like Jesus to the least of these? If not us, tell me who will be like Jesus to the least of these? Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love. Little hands, shoeless feet, lonely eyes looking back at me. Will we leave behind the innocent to grieve? On their own, on the run, when their lives have only begun. These could be our daughters and our sons. And just like a drum, I can hear their hearts beating. I know my God won't let them be defeated. Every child has a dream to belong and be loved. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love the least of these,
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report. I'm your host, Hyungja Sean Moon, the second king of Cheongguk, broadcasting live from the Cheongguk Palace this day, Friday, May 5th, 2017. Let's go to Prager University, prageru.com, and see a wonderful piece done by Dennis Prager. Why isn't communism as hated as Nazism?
When people describe particularly evil individuals or regimes, why is it that they use the terms Nazi or fascist, but almost never communist? Given the unparalleled amount of human suffering communists have caused, why is communist so much less a term of revulsion than Nazi? Communists killed 70 million people in China, more than 20 million people in the Soviet Union, not including about 5 million Ukrainians, and almost 1 out of every 3 Cambodians. And communists enslaved entire nations in Russia, Vietnam, China, Eastern Europe, North Korea, Cuba, and much of Central Asia. They ruined the lives of well over 1 billion people. So why doesn't communism have the same terrible reputation as Nazism? Reason number 1, there is, simply put, widespread ignorance of the communist record. Whereas both right and left loathe Nazism and teach its evil history, the left, and I'm talking about the left, not traditional liberals like Harry Truman or John F. Kennedy, has never loathed communism. And since the left dominates academia, almost no one teaches communism's evil history. Reason number 2, the Nazis carried out the Holocaust. Nothing matches the Holocaust for pure evil. The rounding up of virtually every Jewish man, woman, child, and baby on the European continent and sending them to die is unprecedented and unparalleled. The communists killed far more people than the Nazis, but never matched the Holocaust in the systemization of genocide. The uniqueness of the Holocaust and the enormous attention rightly paid to it have helped ensure that Nazism has a worse name than communism. Reason number 3, communism is based on nice-sounding theories. Nazism isn't. It's based on heinous-sounding theories. Intellectuals in general, including, of course, the intellectuals who write history, are seduced by words, so much so that they deem actions as less significant than words. For that reason, they haven't focused nearly as much attention on the horrific actions of communists as they have on the horrific actions of the Nazis. They dismiss the evils of communists as perversions of true communism, but they regard Nazi atrocities, correctly, as the logical and inevitable results of Nazism. Reason number 4, Germans have thoroughly exposed the evils of Nazism, have taken responsibility for them, and have attempted to atone for them. Russians have not done anything similar regarding Lenin's or Stalin's horrors. To the contrary, Lenin, the father of Soviet communism, is still widely venerated in Russia. And as regards Stalin, as University of London Russian historian Donald Rayfield puts it, quote, people still deny, by assertion or implication, Stalin's Holocaust, unquote. Even less so as China exposed the greatest mass murderer and enslaver of them all, Mao Zedong. Mao remains revered in China. Every Chinese currency note has his picture on it. Until Russia and China and Vietnam and Cuba and North Korea acknowledge the evils their countries committed under communism, communism's evils will remain less known than the evils of the German state under Hitler. Reason number 5, communists murdered mostly their own people. The Nazis, on the other hand, killed very few fellow Germans. World opinion, that largely meaningless and amoral term, deems the murder of members of one's own group far less noteworthy than the murder of outsiders. That's why, for example, blacks killing millions of fellow blacks in Africa elicits almost no attention from world opinion. And reason number 6, in the view of the left, the last good war was World War II, the war against German Nazism and Japanese fascism. The left does not regard wars against communist regimes as good wars. For example, the American war against Vietnamese communism is regarded as immoral, and the war against Korean communism and its Chinese communist backers is simply ignored. Until the left and all the institutions influenced by the left acknowledge how evil communism has been, we will continue to live in a morally confused world. In the meantime, all good people owe it to the victims of communism to learn what happened to them. Even worse than being murdered or enslaved is a world that doesn't even know that you were. I'm Dennis Prager.
Wow.
To keep our
Very
videos
nice,
free-
Very nice. Very nice piece by Dennis Prager. These are some of the Antifa Communist March fails in Austin. Let's see that clip.
What's that? You covering your face?
Fuck you, asshole. Fuck InfoWars.
Yeah. Why is that?
Okay, there's a lot of cussing,
InfoWars.
okay?
Your mommy not love you?
It shows you how
Fuck
brain dead they are.
InfoWars.
You out here protesting? You're protesting capitalism today?
Fuck InfoWars.
Yeah, that's a good point. Pretty
Fuck
good.
InfoWars.
Pretty good. You're showing your intelligence.
Fuck InfoWars.
That's pretty good. What else you got to say?
Fuck InfoWars.
All right. Anything else?
Fuck you too, you fucking fascist. Fuck you, fascist. Fuck you, fascist. Fuck you, fascist.
Look, this is the intelligence you get from these people. This is funny.
Fuck you, fascist. Fuck you, fascist.
You're a joke. Yeah, this guy's a total joke. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Well, let's go over here and see what's going on. We just were told "fuck you" over and over again by some lovely person who his mommy didn't love him. Well, let's hope they don't start. Looks like things are getting embroiled here.
Oh, InfoWars is here.
Here we got the guys with guns. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, what do you got?
We got a bunch of flags. Look at them, right?
Oh, look at that.
No platform. No platform for communism. No free speech for commies.
Maybe we should have a flag burning.
And white Sharia.
So, what's going on today?
Fucking InfoWars. God, fucking fuck.
You guys are making me laugh. Oh yeah, look at that. Are you, did you have to spray anybody today?
We're celebrating Alex Jones losing his kids.
Is that what you're worried about? Alex Jones losing his kid?
How is that bullshit? Alex was a fucking These guys need some super male vitality. TM. You don't know that Alex. You have testosterone.
Cologuard.
Obviously too much fluoride.
Go home. You have no testosterone. You're fags.
What they haven't learned. What they haven't learned is that this is a bastion of free speech here. And we're allowing these people to walk up and down, and they're celebrating people who are oppressive and who kill people. Communist regimes have killed millions, if not hundreds of thousands of people, and here they are celebrating. And
Beta
fascist
males.
and communist regimes. They don't
Being
admit it.
cucked around and cuckolded by
They're
these
joking.
these
But you guys aren't
predator
joking. That's the
females.
funny thing. You're very serious about what you're doing.
Look at these little gay
you know
little
what's funny?
beta males.
Oh
I mean,
my
they're
God! Look!
so-
Oh, we found the racist symbol. Look at that! Oh yeah, we're.
Symbols all day.
Look at them. Look at
The
these
frog is
little
a
white
Nazi symbol, you
suburban
got it.
kids.
Yes, it is.
You know what's funny is capitalism
Literally
built
so
these roads,
spoiled,
and-
thinking that
and
communism is
the
the answer when they
capitalist society
murdered
built this
200 million
amazing
plus
society that you
people
have that you hate
killed.
so much. Right.
These little beta
and you
male
hate it so much,
cucks
but you don't go to
trying to
Venezuela
get girly
where they're
attention
celebrating
because
eating,
they cannot compete
chickens and
with
pigeons
real
in the streets right
alpha
now.
males
Yeah, exactly. Ill-educated as well.
unless
That's
they
even
just
funnier.
tell girls lies, and tell them what they want to hear.
Not too many communists left on here, but we could not.
Look at them.
help
They're all little like
but
little
get
gremlins.
in on the fun. Watching these guys sit here and celebrate their the horrible United States. It's so evil, yet they don't want to leave. How many people are you going to kill with your revolution?
One solution. One solution.
How many people do you want to kill with your revolution?
One solution.
revolution.
Ignorant, spoiled, brain-dead suburban white kids. There you go in Austin. Let's look at Cuban Trump supported communism will never work from Cuba. Let's see this interview by this Cuban communist.
Latinos for Trump.
Cuban.
Latinos for Trump.
Hey, let's talk.
Latino for Trump. There you go.
What do you want to know?
Well, a lot of people say that you don't exist, so we need to show America that, you know, there are Latinos that do vote for Trump.
A lot of Latinos in this country legally they love Donald Trump, like me,
And what's your name, sir?
Humberto Bonelli.
And what made you want to come out here today to the Donald Trump rally? I mean, was this your first time actually being able to see him in person?
Yes, sir.
And what'd you think about it?
I think he's gonna be the only one person in this country who can do the best for these American people and for this country.
And what are some things you want to see Donald Trump when he becomes president after he defeats Hillary Clinton?
I want to see like the economy better. I want to see like he take care about the border, about the people, about the police, about the crime in this country, because the crime is really big in this country right now. So I think we need to take care about that.
So where are you from?
I'm from Cuba, sir.
And how is the crime and how's Cuba?
Okay, it's not a lot of crime in Cuba, but it's other thing really bad. Like the government of Cuba take care. The life in Cuba is really bad because every person, the government has the control of every single person in Cuba. That means the government can do what they want with the people.
But you have free healthcare, right?
We have free.
There you go.
No, yeah, we have free.
That's the answer. Free
Okay,
healthcare.
no, it's free.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna say something. It's free, but to the end, it's not free. And let me tell you why it's not free.
There's no such thing as free, right?
Huh?
There's no such thing as free. Somebody has to pay. The government is so incompetent, they can't do anything, right?
Yes.
So it's like the idea that there's free anything. That has to come from some taxation or.
It comes from unicorns and Skittles falling from the sky.
Somehow there's-
That Bernie Sanders drives across
Let
the.
me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me give you the answer. So yeah, it's free education and free hospital in Cuba, but to the end, it's not free.
So what's
Why?
the waiting line to see a doctor?
Let me give you the answer, please. So, you're gonna be for free at the university for 5 years. Let
I
me.
paid my own way.
Yeah.
I don't believe in free.
I
Free is-
No. He's being like he's
I'm
making a
being
point.
sarcastic.
do not believe in free too. It's because I'm here voting for Donald Trump because I'm come from Cuba.
Well, I've got a question. How many? Because apparently America's so bad compared to these guys, these protesters out here. How many rafts did you see show up in Cuba with Americans flooding off of it?
Yeah.
Say again your
With
question,
Black
please.
Lives Matter stickers on the side of the rafts.
No, I'm saying how many times did you see rafts show up in Cuba with Americans getting off trying to escape freedom to escape capitalism?
Because America's so bad.
Okay. Some people of Cuba think American is bad, but it's not because of people. It's because the government. It's because
And the media.
and the media and the school and the education. When that happens, you born with that mentality, like thinking American is bad. And this country is the best country in the world. If you want to know the answer, just travel to Cuba 2 weeks. But don't travel with a lot of money. Travel with $10 for 1 month. The money what the people Cuba need for 1 month. And you're going to see and come back to this country. And you're going to see what
have a
we
whole new
have.
respect for it.
Say again,
You'll
please?
have a whole new respect for it.
Yes. I mean, I love this country. And if you want to see, just travel to other country and live the reality. And you come back and you want to see what we have. Why? What made this country great and so beautiful?
Yeah.
But before you came here, did you think America was like bad because you were taught that in school?
Okay, yes. Yes
So
and
then
not.
How long did it take for you to flip to where it's like, wait a minute, I was lied to in the schools, the media, and
After
so on?
16 years. Why?
16 years?
Yeah, in my 16 years, after 16 years, because my mother family, she loves the government. In the school, from the first day you go to the school is you have to love Castro, you have to love this government because this is the best. But when I was growing, I see the reality. I see like everything is not true in Cuba. That system never is gonna work. That system is beautiful only in paper.
Right. Why?
Why? Because if you see Cuba, it's 11 million people living in the poor life. It's only 5 people living rich, and that is the people who is working for the government. And in this country, you can do whatever you want.
Are you saying socialists are hypocrites?
Cuba is socialist system.
Well, it's communist, but of course most communists won't ever call themselves that. They'll call themselves the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, right?
Uh-huh.
Because it's like it's more palatable. You don't want to call yourself a communist because people would be like, whoa, that person's got fangs. But it's like if you call yourself a socialist, it's like, oh, that's not bad. And then if you call yourself a Democrat socialist, it's like, what is that? That sounds very appealing.
That's trendy. That's progressive.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Donald Trump just gave a speech to thousands of people here in Austin, Texas. This is a predominantly
There you go, Latinos for Trump. The percentage of Latinos for Trump now being 47% about. 40% now supporting Trump. That's a tremendous amount, of course, which the media never will cover. In other top news, Farage officially endorses Le Pen. Hey, Nigel Farage, another patriot out there in Britain. If she fails, she will win in 2022, he says. He says he's supporting Marine Le Pen. Brexit architect Nigel Farage has officially thrown his support behind French presidential candidate Marine Le Pen as Sunday's final round of voting approaches. I'm supporting Marine Le Pen, and if she fails this year, she will win 2022, wrote Farage an editorial penned for the Daily Telegraph. Assuming that if the French are not quite ready to embrace nationalism in the interest of self-preservation, they will be after 5 more years of globalist strip mining and open borders. Farage admits that he never favored an alliance between Le Pen's party, Front National, and his own UKIP due to some of the more extreme views of Marine's father, but that she has brought about a transformation of Front National that has earned his enthusiastic support. At no point in time did I want UKIP to do a deal with the French National Front. Farage said the party's roots were deep in Vichy, and I believed anti-Semitism was embedded in its DNA. All this made it the wrong place for UKIP to be. Then in January 2011, an overwhelming vote of FN members saw Marine Le Pen become leader, beating Holocaust denier Bruno Gollnisch. From the start, he wanted the FN to be more like UKIP than the British National Party. I was told that this would be a nightmare for me. He went on, it was always monstrous that she should be judged in the image of her father, an accusation many still make today. Farage went on to refute the smears of the mainstream media who never failed to tag Le Pen with the far-right extremist slur, one they often slap on the likes of Farage and Donald Trump for simply being opposed to globalism and tidal waves of third world migrants pouring into the West. There's nothing she said in the entire election campaign that I find unreasonable or extreme. Indeed, she has more rational line on Islam than any Eurosceptic parties across the continent. She is a sincere Eurosceptic, and under her, the FN is about sovereignty, not race. Marine Le Pen has virtually met all my previous conditions, he concluded. Farage has worked tirelessly for many years to battle the European establishment, and his own endorsement of Le Pen should stand as a clear indicator of what is truly at stake in this election, as a champion of the status quo has been openly identified. And there they are, having Macron with his shirt off, sporting abs, so that people say, oh, wow, he's impressive. I think I'll vote for him on the basis of the fact that he's on Garçon magazine without his shirt on. I guess I'll just say, that's how brain dead people are, folks. That's how brain dead they are. Look at this. It's almost like the French media in France has an agenda. Can't quite put my finger on it. All Macron. See? It's all about putting the former Rothschild banker and protege of French President, the globalist Francois Hollande, is the establishment candidate, of course, who works in concert with the Angela Merkel and will be supporting the EU to rule over France with unelected bureaucratic boards that can determine laws from Brussels. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay with us on the King's Report.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
Car Arms. Magnum research, and auto ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report. I was looking at this sausage here, and this is how they actually, when they were trekking in the 1800s across mountain ranges, this is how they transported protein. By encasing them in these skins, which are from the pig intestine. It's a good use of the intestine as well. The more of the animal you use, the more respect you show. And this was actually a way to transport meat, which was smoked, over distance without bacteria, viruses, and or fungus taking it over. And these can go for a long time. It's amazing how sausages can go a long time. Anyways, getting back to the point, welcome back to the King's Report. I'm your host, Hyung Ji-Sean Moon, the second king of Chanyeoguk. And let's go now to a interview that Alex Jones did with Ron Paul, of course, one of the fathers of the modern Patriot movement. Let's go see Ron Paul's breakdown of the current situation, saying the collapse is closer than ever. Let's go to this interview.
You can't run Washington like you run a business, and that's always been a mistake to think that you can.
It is a paradox, the best of times, the worst of times. Ron Paul ran for president back in the 90s and failed. Maybe 1 out of 100 people knew.
Well, I think people are starting to recognize that now. Our biggest problem in evaluating Trump is we don't know what he'll say tomorrow or the day before yesterday because it's back and forth. We sort of liked him before he was elected because searching for things that I liked the fact that he thought we ought to be more reasonable dealing with Russia. And then he changed all of a sudden, but just recently again, he's talking about, hey, we better lay off Russia. So it's this lack of understanding of what his real policies are means that the unpredictability of this is very disturbing. We ought to at least know where people stand.
Well, I agree. You wrote on your Liberty Report last week about, here's President Trump saying, I love WikiLeaks, give him a medal, and then now he's saying arrest WikiLeaks. I mean, that is a real betrayal when WikiLeaks was exposing criminal activity.
That's very bad.
There's your headline. Candidate Trump, I love WikiLeaks. President Trump, arrest Assange. Trump claims he's all about loyalty, and I've seen that in his past. Do you think the deep state has gotten to him?
Oh, it's hard for me to figure out. We can say what he has done, but we can't really read his mind on what's going on. I don't think he approaches things, as so many of us try to do, from a philosophic principle. I think his principle is pragmatism and do what you have to do or whatever crosses your mind at the moment. But it would be very, very disappointing if he was calling everybody's bluff, that he was saying everything intentionally. I'm going to get in office and I'm going to be the best neocon ever. This sort of thing. That would be the most distasteful. The best excuse I can give him is that he doesn't come from a firm set of principles And then he does yield to the political pressures because he does express things like, oh, I didn't know this was so complicated. And it is true. He didn't know too much about how things worked in Washington. And you can't run Washington like you run a business. And that's always been a mistake to think that you can. Because it isn't a business.
Ron
you
Paul.
can't. A business that run efficiently and governments are inefficient. And that is the reason you want very little government, because they can't manage health care.
Or his son Rand Paul.
It isn't the mismanagement; it's the fact that they're trying
the
to
only
manage
reasonable
healthcare.
voice out there
So
on
that's
the
way it is with
on the
government.
House.
Now, he's recognized this,
Oh, he's saying
and he
Senator,
can't bully his way through
Senator
that
Rand
and just
Paul.
say, "I am the boss," and this is what's going to happen. There are too many other. Everybody's in Washington thinks they're the boss, and they like to play this game, and they don't come from the position of what we really want is a lot less government. So when he talks about draining the swamp, some of us have in our minds, oh, that means he's going to have a lot less, government spending. But the spending, it's the same old stuff. The spending is going to go up, and the militarism is going to go up. So, and our First Amendments are going to be attacked, and Planned Parenthood is going to get their money plus a little. So that has to be discouraging to a lot of people who had supported Trump.
So the swamp really isn't getting drained. I mean, I guess it's getting drained a little bit. What's happening is Trump's getting drained.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a bit of realism there for him. But I think, it was unrealistic to say that, just look at me and I can do this, this, this. I mean, there was a lot of positive things, but people wanted the positive things. One of the characteristics of Ronald Reagan was that people saw him as being very positive and not talking about the problems. Sometimes what I'm amazed at is over the years, I've talked about all the problems, and I feel like, oh, I'm too negative. But the one thing is so many young people, if they listen to our message and you come up with just a hint, this doesn't have to be this way. There are an answer. Actually, describing something as negative is a blessing and it's a positive because you're telling them the truth and they recognize it. But to say that everything is rosy without really describing it and what you're going to do. So I feel very comfortable in describing the problems of the Federal Reserve and the budget spending and the foreign policy and the attack on civil liberties. But then to come up with the answer, which is a constitutional answer, as well as an answer that is embedded with the principles of liberty, and that if you're looking for peace and prosperity, you go in that direction. So it's a very positive message. And I think you've recognized this over the year, that people like to hear that. And you can still talk about the negatives, but it comes across as telling the truth rather than just saying everything is hunky-dory. All we have to do is ABC and everything is going to be perfect again. See, after a while, that is not believable.
Absolutely.
I think that's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. People are realizing that the rhetoric has far surpassed the results.
Dr. Ron Paul, you mentioned attacks on free speech, and I want to get into that in a moment because you've had that happen, I've had that happen. But I happen to know the president does respect you. He says he respects you. He's getting along with Rand now and is hopefully listening to him about getting a better bill to replace Obamacare, not just have Obamacare light. So it's good to see Rand, who I think is the best senator in Congress. Matt Drudge agrees with that, and obviously met with him a month ago or so and said he is the best senator. Obviously from your tutelage and his own research in life, he does have the grasp on that. I would hope that the president would get closer to Rand and obviously get more of his advice because your son is more of a purist Americana. But separately from that, just spend a few minutes on advice to the president, because I know he does actually tune into the show. He does actually crave what the public thinks. He respects you. Just spend a few minutes on what you would say to the president.
Well, of course, if you're not invited, it doesn't do much good. But I can try to accommodate what you're saying. But it's very rare that people in Washington really want your advice. I was always told is study hard, understand it, present your case, and somebody will come to you, and there will be a job for you, and you present your case. And on a few occasions in Washington, I had other members come up that were very serious, and they did a bit of a conversion, say on foreign policy or something. So that is always possible. But to just decide you're going to advise somebody, it's not real practical. They're not going to pay a lot of attention. But indeed,
sure. What should Trump do then? I mean, he does listen to you. He says he respects you. He's tweeted that. I mean, he will listen to you. I mean, what do you think Trump's done good? What's he done bad?
Well, I think he's backed down on, the spending and all. And if my advice would be, let the Congress go ahead and pass these bills. Tell them what you want, let them pass it, and then veto the bill. But try not to be flip-flopping all over the place. Some of us really want him to do what he claimed he was going to do. But, when I look at it, then all of a sudden I see, well, all the presidents said in recent years, the one that is a little less militant is usually the one that wins the election, and Trump was less militant. So I would say work toward consistency and get rid of the flip-flopping. And if you believe in less government, stick to that. But you can't pretend to hold on to people who want less government, and you're increasing the budget, and you spend more money and say you want to spend it on such and such. Oh, well, we'll give you that.
Well, let me ask you this then. Where do you think it's going? Because he did some good things like TPP and a lot of other things, but then suddenly it seemed by day 70 really went off trajectory. I think that's part of that coup against Bannon. As soon as Bannon was demoted, we saw the trajectory change. Is there any way in your mind to get him back on trajectory?
Yeah, well, I think it's very secondary to what's going on because, let's say tomorrow there's a beginning of an economic bust like it happened in 2008. Trump's not responsible for that, but he'll get blamed for it, that sort of thing. So I think things are out of control of an individual like this. So it's not what should Trump do. The country is bankrupt, and doing what they're doing, the establishment, Republicans and Democrats, they have always gotten together with these omnibus bills and these continuing resolutions, and they always spend more money. They endorse intervention overseas. They endorse the financial system, the Federal Reserve. They're not opposed to
more of the same.
But it's not. But it's not because all of a sudden Trump isn't sticking to his word. It's the fact that the country is addicted to spending.
I was about to say, we saw federal agencies just ignore him when he was trying to do the right thing, and just basically the deep state refusing, something you've talked a lot about. So let's speak to that. Sorry, go ahead.
But the people are responsible too. Congress is a mess. But the people, why they had to back off, why the Republican leadership backed off on Obamacare, is the yelling and screaming and the noise that was made by people saying, I have a right to medical care, I want free medical care, and you can't take it away from us. So there's still a lot of people out there who are still believing.
So it doesn't matter if it bankrupts our health care. They want something, quote, free today.
Right, and that's the bigger problem compared to what's Trump going to do tomorrow versus yesterday.
Sure, we're the problem. Our decadent population is a problem.
Unless you accept a different position on the role of government, none of this is going to be solved. And I think that no matter what we put up in Washington, we're going into a very, very dire economic problem. And I think our empire is going to end. And unfortunately, the whistleblowers are going to be attacked more than ever. But in the end, what we need is a whole generation of people advocating and understanding what liberty is all about. That's what happened during our original revolution. And now we don't need the old revolution. We need the expansion of those views that were held by the founders. And it has to be endorsed, not just by a few of us. We need more people to the point where not every TV now supports the state. You can't.
Government
Republican
brainwashing.
TV is not much better than the Democratic TV.
So we need 1776 2.0. So in the few minutes we have left, let me bring this up to you. I don't know if you saw it, but it was in national news. I got the secret documents through Mike Cernovich that Google was spending millions of dollars to delist InfoWars, and they listed because I played clips of Ron Paul saying this is probably a false flag in Syria, and because I played Putin, and because I played some army colonels, and they said this is an example of fake news, so delist Alex Jones and have an army of trolls go out and start voting him down. Now, because we published the document 2 days later, they said, okay, rogue contractors did that. We're going to stop now. But it wasn't because you were fake news. They admitted in 2013, 2016 that the rebels got caught launching fake attacks. We had this rush to judgment. The British ambassador says it's clearly the rebels. It sets a precedent where the rebels can stage events, and then we rush to judgment. Your son helped lead the move in the Senate to not have a rush to judgment in 2013 and be al-Qaeda / ISIS's Air Force. So we've now gotten to the point where I have a member of the Federal Reserve Board of New York suing me. I've been told shut up. I have George Soros' firm suing me. I have Dr. Corsi breaking that Obama looted $300 billion out of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac for Obamacare. I've been told shut up about that or we'll destroy you. So that's the type of stuff, the type of messages that I've got. Now, I know as a congressman, you probably got threats too, but I've never had it at this level. What do you make of that, and why do you think they were so scared of me? They listed playing Ron Paul clips.
Well, they're protecting the state, and they're protecting the deep state as well. Two individuals that went to prison that were in Congress for one major reason, they were both very, very strong anti-IRS and wrote books against it. And I think that was their major problem. And the same way, what we have developed here is sort of a fascist system. You know, the government doesn't own Google and all this social media, but they have control over it, and they've sold out to the government because they're collecting all the information. And the government doesn't collect this, but if we need it, Google will give it to us, and all these Facebook, they'll give it to them because they're exempt from any liability. The Congress gave them the exemption that you can't go in this. If somebody in social media has turned over your information, they're not liable. But the Congress gave them that, so it's a mixture of big business and big government, and it's a terrible thing. And there's big money involved. It has nothing to do with helping the poor people or helping the middle class get medical care. It's power and it's control and it's protection of the state, and that's why whistleblowers are the greatest enemies of this. You know, truth becomes treason when you have an empire, and we have an empire. So anybody who tells the truth, and it'll be in relative levels, they're going to go after those individuals. So that's what we're up against. When I left the Congress this past time, I listed some of the concerns, and my number one concern was the destruction of the First Amendment to speak out, believing sincerely that if you and I still have the privilege, the right to speak out without the government coming down on us, that we could change the system, because ideas have consequences and they're more powerful than armies. But our enemies, the opposition, understands this, because if we can silence people, we can silence those ideas. I don't think they can. Ideas can't be stopped by the armies, and we know that. So I think the ideology is where the battle has to be, not with what Trump is going to do tomorrow and what's the Congress.
I agree. Well, let me just say this in closing. I am very honored to be demonized like you have been over the years. I'm very honored to join that exclusive club. It's just crazy the way they lie, the way they twist, the way they call us racist when we're the total opposite of that, promoting Martin Luther King. And I just see, as you say, all the economists saying if we don't turn things around soon, we're going to implode into a worldwide depression. And I just feel sorry for the people in the establishment. Most media admits that they're not really against us, but they will lose their job if they don't attack us. And so, there's got to be some way that we all just speak out and kind of turn the tide here.
Congressman Ron Paul, one of the great patriots of the modern freedom movement. They're breaking it down with Alex Jones, who's being sued and targeted. But there you go, folks. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
And welcome back to the King's Report this Friday, May 5th, 2017. I'm your host, Hyung Sean Moon, the second key of China. Let's go now to Tim, the agent elder, for our very important report. Tim.
Okay, well, let's go into the healthcare situation because that was
top news on Drudge.
That was top news on Drudge. Drudge is linking to the CNBC article, which is kind of critical on that. Let's, though, look at the Washington Times article on that rather than the CNBC one. Washington Times says the Republicans took the first major step towards repealing Obamacare on Thursday, as the House approved a bill that would replace the 2010 healthcare overhaul with a more market-friendly system that cancels intrusive government mandates, spurring millions of people to forego health insurance. I think it's important to remind ourselves that this was only the first step in the process of repealing and replacing Obamacare. To use a baseball analogy,
Right.
they finally got the first base. Is how I would put it.
Yes.
Because now to get to second base, the Senate has to pass a bill. Because this is a spending bill, according to the Constitution, all spending bills have to originate in the House, and so that's where it originated. And now the Senate has to take a look at this bill, and they're going to change it. You can be sure of that. They're not going to pass the same bill with the exact same language. And then the third step will be then for the if the Senate passes a bill, then the House and Senate will contribute a few members each to a committee that will try to reconcile those two versions of the bill and create something that they think will be passed by both the House and the Senate in exactly the same form. And if that succeeds, then that's third base. And then it goes to the president, and the president will decide whether or not he wants to sign that. So that's going to be a long process, and there's a time limit on it. All this has to take place before the end of next year. If it doesn't, then everything gets wiped out, and they go back to square one, to home plate. So this is only the first step, the first major step.
They don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of time either.
That's right. They don't have a lot of time.
Because one of the senatorial and congressman elections come in 2 years, I believe.
Next year, yes.
Next year. So I was talking to one of the judges yesterday at the luncheon, and he was saying, we have 2 years.
Right.
We have a year or two. We don't have a lot of time. Yeah, go ahead.
And next year, because next year is the midterm elections, it's going to be all about getting reelected for everyone, and so it's very difficult to get controversial stuff done during an election year. So yeah, probably it may have to happen this year. I don't know, but anyway, according to law, there is until the end of next year until then this current Congress term expires. And any bill that has not been enacted into law by then gets wiped out. And then you go back to square one and you try again the next 2 years.
And the liberal lunatics may get more seats next time around, so.
Well, we'll see, because actually the way that the Senate, especially the Senate election next year, works very favorably towards the Republicans, because there are 34 seats up for election next year, and only 8 of those are Republican. All the rest are except for 2, I think, are independents, but all the rest are Democrats. So it works pretty favorably towards the Republican next year. So this Republicans stand a pretty good chance if they, play it right. They stand a pretty good chance of gaining seats in next year's Senate election. But that's another story. So Republicans said they were on a rescue mission to save Americans from a rapidly deteriorating healthcare market wrought by President Obama, and that's so. As this time goes on, as President Trump had said, Obamacare is failing, and that failure will become more and more evident as time goes on. And so hopefully within the next months or so, that will become more obvious to more Americans.
He said it's dead.
It is, well, he said it's dead. It's still the law of the land this morning.
It's dead.
It remains the law of the land. It's still there this morning, but it's a walking dead, you could say.
It's zombie care.
Democrats said the bill fell far short of Mr. Obama's goals of
zombie
expanding
go
insurance
boom.
coverage.
Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Republicans powered the bill through the House on a 270 to 213 vote. That means that 20 Republicans voted no. All Democrats plus 20 Republicans voted no, and that's how they got the 213 no votes. But it passed 217 to 213, and the Republicans cheered as the gavel came down. And Democrats who unanimously voted against the repeal serenaded them with chants of na 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 na, hey hey, goodbye. A prediction that Republicans who backed the plan would pay for it at
What
the
little
ballot box.
children.
Yes.
Na 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 na, keep
The music was not in the original article. A lot of us have been waiting 7 years to cast this vote. Many of us are here because we pledged to cast this vote, said House Speaker Paul D. Ryan, a Wisconsin Republican. Now, as it goes to the Senate, let's look at how Senator Rand Paul looks at this. He
Yes.
spoke out yesterday on Fox News Channel. He was interviewed about this. And he was critical of it. He said this is the first time that Republicans have affirmatively put their stamp of approval on a program where federal money, taxpayer money, is paid to insurance companies. He later characterized subsidizing insurance companies as deplorable. You know what? Charles Krauthammer also made a similar point. He said that this vote actually represents a victory for Obamacare, he said, because now he said, look at what the Republican Party has come. Republican Party has come away from free market insurance and is now approving a bill that involves government subsidies for the insurance companies. So in that sense, Charles Krauthammer said this is a victory for Obamacare because it has moved the Republican Party into this position, away from free market and into a position where they're now supporting a government subsidy of health care. And Rand Paul is saying something similar. He said Rand Paul says in that sense it's deplorable. He said Rand Paul said the House Freedom Caucus made the bill a lot less bad. So it's still bad, but he said the House Freedom Caucus made it a lot less bad. But what I'm concerned with is that this will be the first time that Republicans have affirmatively put their stamp of approval on a program where federal money, taxpayer money, is paid to insurance companies. And it boggles my mind how that became a Republican idea, Rand Paul says.
That is ridiculous.
And Rand Paul said, it's going to take a little bit of work to get me to a yes vote. I think maybe more than a little bit. But I do have an open mind. I mean, there's not been a louder voice up here for repealing Obamacare. I really want to repeal it. I just want to replace it with Obamacare Light or another federal program. The programs they put in place will be there forever. So the refundable tax credit, which is subsidy by another name, will be there forever. And these high-risk pools they want to create, Republicans used to hate the idea. They hated the idea when they were called risk corridors and they were giving money to insurance companies. They were bailouts when it was a Democratic idea. Now that it's a Republican idea, they keep sweetening it up. So actually, Charles Krauthammer's prediction is that we will have a single-payer system within 7 years. He just sees that he doesn't support that, but he sees the country going in that way because you see how far the Republicans come towards the Democratic position now. And even the Republicans are moving towards that kind of a single-payer system where basically, you have a system where you have in other countries where the government subsidizes, the government takes care of health care, and you don't have insurance companies doing health care.
That's an outrage. That is such an outrage. Krutheimer I don't know when he ever agrees with Rand Paul. I mean, sometimes. But, I mean, he's absolutely right. They are doing a victory for Obamacare.
Yes.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. But, so we're only on first base. That's the good news.
That's the good news.
And things are going to change. And now it's going to the Senate where Rand Paul, I'm sure, will have a lot to say about what the Senate does on this. And we'll have to see what the Senate passes, if they pass anything at all. And hopefully that will represent progress. We'll have to see how that develops in the next weeks and months. And hopefully they won't take too much time, because if they do, they'll run out of time. And Obamacare will just remain as it always was if they run out of time.
Absurd. Now, you brought up Krutheimer. Let's go to that video clip with Charles Krutheimer.
Over Obamacare and health care in general, both politically and in terms of the policy as evidenced in this legislation?
I think historically speaking, we're at the midpoint. We had 7 years of Obamacare, a change in expectations, and I would predict that in less than 7 years we'll be in a single-payer system. I think that's the great irony of this. Obamacare failed at every level. Politically, the Democrats were crushed over 6 years and 4 elections, where, as you say, they lost seats in the House, the Senate, the governorships, etc., largely because of Obamacare. It failed on the ground, as was pointed out earlier. The insurers are in a death spiral. The Obamacare exchanges are collapsing. You've had these exchanges, these community exchanges, completely disintegrating. But the irony is, in the end, I think Obamacare wins the day because it changed expectations. Look at the terms of the debate. Republicans are not arguing the free market anymore. They have sort of accepted the fact that the electorate sees health care as not just any commodity. It's not like purchasing a steak or a car. It's something that people now have a sense the government ought to guarantee.
That's a right.
Right. And because of that, even Republicans are trying to say, oh, we're not going to lose that many. Oh, yes, you'll be covered on if you have a pre-existing condition. The terms of debate are entirely on the grounds of the liberal argument that everybody ought to have.
So how do we get
Once that happens, you're going to end up with a single payer.
Well, I was going to say, how do you get to single payer? Are you saying that the Senate is not going to pass this repeal and replace plan?
In the short run, I think the Senate is not going to accept the House plan. It'll come up with a plan of its own. They'll go to conference. Who knows where it's going to end up, but it's going to be a rickety arrangement. It's likely that Republicans are going to suffer at the polls, and as a result of that, if that happens, you're going to get a sea change in opinion. Then there are only two ways to go: to a radically individualist system where the market rules, or to single payer, and the country is not going to go back
Market
to
rule.
radically individualist.
Let us choose between providers so we have freedom of choice. We don't have to pay for things we don't want to be covered for. We need to have choice. The more choice we have, the better prices we get, the better service we get. Give people freedom. We'll be right back after this short break.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
When we love the least of days, then we will be brave and free. Shout your name in victory. When we love the least of days, when we love the least of days, if not us, who will be like Jesus to the least of these? If not us, tell me who will be like Jesus to the least of these. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love. Little hands, shoeless feet, lonely eyes looking back at me. Will we leave behind the innocent to grieve? On their own, on the run, when their lives have only begun. These could be our daughters and our sons. And just like a drum, I can hear their hearts beating. I know my God back at me? Will we leave behind the innocent to grieve? On their own, on the run, when their lives have only begun. These could be our daughters and our sons. And just like a drum, I can hear their hearts beating. I know my God won't let them be defeated. Every child has a dream to belong and be loved. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love the least of these, then they will be brave and free. Shout your name in victory. When we love the least of these, when we love the least of these. Break our hearts once again. Help us to remember when we were only children hoping for a friend. Won't you look around? These are the lives that the world has forgotten, waiting for doors of our hearts and our homes to open. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love the least of these, then they will be brave and free. Shout your name in victory. When we love the least of these, when we love the least of these. If not us, who will be like Jesus to the least of these? If not us, tell me who will be like Jesus to the least of these. Boys become kings, girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we love.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report this Friday, May 5th, 2017. I'm your host, Sean Moon, second king of Chanyeoguk, and let's go to this story, 7 North Korean realities that highlight the madness of the Kim regime. Look at this. It looks like he's out of a comic book. It looks like literally Porky the Pig with a Korean afro. I mean, it is ridiculous. He's like giggling there, seeing nuclear bombs being bloated. I mean, you can't make this up. You wouldn't be able to make him up as a character in a comic book. Look at that. As Tim said, he's probably the only obese person in North Korea. Oh my Lord, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I mean, the fact that even if you laughed at him, right, in North Korea, you would be killed.
Yes.
You'd be killed.
People have been killed for that, yes.
It is outrageous. I'm talking about the level of demonic possession and evil.
Those 3 guys behind him are laughing with him, not at him. You can be sure of that.
I mean, look, they just look like old Korean grandpas, okay?
Yes.
And they're literally in this state where they can kill you.
Yes.
If you even dare to laugh or make fun of his haircut.
Yes, definitely. He can and he does kill anyone he wants. Yes.
You know, and he's proven that he's killed hundreds of people in the senior
with anti-aircraft guns, with flamethrowers.
Oh my gosh!
Mortar
Here we
shells.
go. 7 reasons. The Communist government of North Korea has long held a spot on the list of the world's most repressive tyrannies, with human rights organizations regularly condemning the atrocities committed by the Kim family regime. Secretive as dictator Kim Jong-un may be, as were his predecessors, his father and grandfather, the mixture of witness accounts and defector testimonies have exposed the harrowing details of life in North Korea. Below are listed 7 of the strangest and most horrifying realities about how the Kim regime runs the North Korea state. Christians are bulldozed to death for expressing their faith. Before the rise of late eternal leader Kim Il-sung and the creation of Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the region boasted one of the world's most devout Christian populations. Yes, it was. It was a burgeoning and growing and powerful Christian population. Pyongyang, the nation's capital, earned the nickname Jerusalem of the East. Look at that. For its thriving, that's where, of course, Father emerged out of, for its thriving Christian community. The Kim family itself was once Christian. Look at that. The Kim family itself was once Christian. Whoa! Before Kim Il-sung abandoned the faith, he became an apostate and forbade his people from practicing. Boom! Because he knew the power of it. He rebelled against it. Wow. Wow, wow. Today, possessing a Bible is a high crime against the state, and those who openly profess the faith face execution by gruesome means. A report published by the group Christian Solidarity Worldwide last year highlighted particularly atrocious executions of Christians. Documented incidents against Christians include being hung on a cross over a fire, crushed over a steamroller, under a steamroller, herded off bridges, and trampled underfoot. A policy of guilt by association applies, meaning that the relatives of Christians are also detained regardless of whether they share their Christian belief. Those Christians not killed for their faith are condemned to lifetimes in the nation's notorious labor camps, where they are tortured, raped, and used as slave labor. Estimates of the number of Christians in the country range from 200,000 to 400,000 people. The regime targets Christians because loyalty to Jesus Christ challenges the cult of personality surrounding the Kim family. Boom! Boom, boom, boom! According to Kenneth Bae, an American missionary who was arrested for proselytizing in the country, the nation's museums have Bibles on display as enemy weapons. Boom! In his memoir, Bae writes that one prosecutor told him, "You say it is just prayer, but prayer is a hostile act because it calls into question everything our system is based upon." Boom! That is also why the liberal left and the liberal totalitarian left hate the Bible. Because it challenges their cult of personality, Obama, their savior and Lord and Savior.
They believe in the power of prayer. That's why they suppress it.
They know at the top, they know, but at the sort of the cultish level, it's just this mockery of, oh, Christianity is so superstitious. Mm-hmm. But they know, the top elites know, on the left and the Republican right, they know that the Bible is a weapon.
Yes.
It challenges the cult of personality and the cult of totalitarianism. Challenges it. Boom! It is a threat. It is a danger. It is a weapon against tyranny. Wow, and that is why the Chinese Constitution upholds the Bible, upholds the Christian values, and upholds Christ. In addition to Christians, the disabled are put in labor camps. Reports have consistently surfaced that the North Korean regime has little interest in respecting the human rights of individuals who are disabled, identifying them as being of little use to the country as soldiers or slaves. A 2012 United Nations report claimed that the Kim regime organized special camps for the disabled where they are sent after being classified by type of disability and removed from society.
Wow, sounds like Nazi Germany.
There you go. The country explicitly bars the mentally disabled from engaging with the general population, and those considered dwarfs are banned from having children. The UN described the treatment of the disabled as merciless. Chi Sung-ho, a North Korean defector who lost 2 of his limbs in an accident, confirmed these reports in 2014. The regime proclaims there are no people with disabilities under the Kim's rule, and everyone is equal and living well. He said, there's nobody with disabilities in North Korea because we murder and kill them and lethally inject them. Yes, there's nobody in disabilities living here because they're all dead. We kill them. And everybody is equal and living well. Yes, everybody is equal and living well off of 1 kilogram of rice per month. With no nutritional value and complete squalor and poverty. Yes, everybody's living fantastically well, and everybody's equal in their poverty and squalor, except the political elite, except the archangelic power, except the governmental officials who get to wine and dine with Porky Pig with a Korean afro. You can't make this this stuff up in a dang Marvel comic book? The insanity. And while the propaganda is going on, disabled children are being taken away, suffering indescribable things and dying. Hundreds of thousands. You look. The West is not, of course, it's better than that, but it's not as bad in terms of people abort their children or a child because they know it has some kind of disease or something. They don't give it, they don't afford it human rights. Whereas a Christian sees a child that is given by God. Doesn't matter what that child has as a quote disability. That child is given to that person for a reason. And the Bible says God doesn't give you a challenge that you cannot handle. That's in, I believe, Corinthians. That God gives challenges that we can handle. He knows we are made up of the stuff that can handle it, and that's why He gives us that. Now, even the Queen was reflecting on, because she has a disabled brother, and she was saying her dad and mom would always constantly say, "Wow," and they would argue like, "It's your ancestors, it's your ancestors, it's your ancestors that did this. It's because of you. It's because of you that did this." And she was saying, if we just knew with clarity. And it's unfortunate they were so unclear because the archangels at our church were teaching that, pro-abortion because their kids and their relatives were doing it. But Father, as I showed in the video very clearly, he's unequivocally clear about abortion. Mm-hmm. But they twist it, they spin it. It's like the media. They spin it. It's called the spin zone. Yes. Father says one thing, the archangels, the leadership spins it for their benefit so they can get their children off of doing abortion. And killing babies. Okay? Anyways, the point is, the Queen was saying how much different it is, the Christian perspective, which is clear on abortion, that no, this child is given to, and if the parents both would educate the other siblings, no, this child is a gift from God. Yes, there's different difficulties, but everybody has difficulties. This child is given to us because God says we can handle it. We have the fortitude. God knows our limits. He knows what we can handle, what we cannot handle. And this, for us, this child makes us more compassionate, more loving. This child makes us more broad, more patient. This child has a purpose in life. And God has a purpose for this life. You see, that is the proper perspective of true Father. Again, the stupid hierarchy and the stupid archangels twist it like the spin zone on CNN, the corrupt news network, and the corporate news network, and the Clinton news network, and the cannibal news network, and the cuck news network, etc. It's a spin zone. And that's the problem. That's why Father said, learn Korean so you can hear what I'm saying directly.
Yes.
You have to go through all these fools and archangels who use the spin zone to spin what they want to get their children off of doing abortions.
Yes.
Give me a break. Hundreds of thousands of political prisoners are subject to rape, torture, and starvation. North Koreans can end up in a labor prison camp for a staggering variety of reasons. Insufficiently worshiping the Kim family. Boom! This is literally, what the family fraud establishment wants. I mean, this is literally what they want. The Hyoyul Kims, the little fake Kims and the fake Parks and all those little traitors and little money-grubbing, little power-mongering, little treasonous usurpers. This is literally what they want. The Kim Suk-byungs and the An Hyo-yus and these little pathetic little worms. This is literally what they want worldwide. Oh, you don't worship us on our Supreme Council. We sent you to labor camp. No kimchi there. You become the kimchi. Oh my Lord, these people are so sick. It's exactly North Korea worldwide is what they want, as delineated in their fake Chaniguk Constitution, because they're fake believers in their fake news. Insufficiently worshiping the Kim family, trying to escape North Korea, getting a hold of deviant foreign media like music and movies. Those who have escaped compare the labor camps to Nazi-era concentration camps where soldiers torture, rape, and starve prisoners, of course, because they are forced to be atheists as well. So there's no sexual ethics. Any might equals right. If you have power, you can bang whatever you want, and nobody will challenge it. Might equals right. totally demonic Satanists. We'll be right back covering more of this article. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Shocking, shocking, shocking.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
He looks like Frito-Lay potato chips would crumble out of his mouth every time he speaks. Oh my goodness, we are back. Friday, May 5th, 2017, as we continue to discuss the unbelievable tyranny of North Korea during the break. I'm your host, Hyungji Sean Moon, the second king of Chunning Google. Let's get back to this article. The United Nations estimates that hundreds of thousands are trapped in these camps in North Korea, subject to deliberate starvation, forced labor executions, torture, rape, and the denial of reproductive rights. Because you are so hungry, you thought about food and how to get more of it all the time. Hyuk Kim, a labor camp survivor, recalled. Now remember, father was in these labor camps time and time again. And they were even more brutal because I was in the 40s. So even more brutal because there was no international pressure on them at all. Sometimes you got lucky and you were able to catch a rat or two as a snack, which you'd skin, dry the meat out, and eat, usually raw. If you tried to cook the rats, the guards would smell the meat or fire, catch you, and beat you mercilessly. Kim Kwang-il, another survivor of those camps, drew illustrations for CNN of various torture methods used at the camps, including forcing prisoners into stressful body positions for hours, hanging them by the arms. They would hang you by the arms. Whoopsie daisy. Whoopsie daisy. That's what you get sometimes when you have stuff on the table. We'll clean that up. But that's what you get. They hang you up behind your arms like that and then hang you from your arms backwards. And that's what also they did to father, ravaging his shoulders and dentals and shoulder rotator cuffs and etc. But thank God that water was all drunk. I drank that. It was propolis water. It was lemon water. In a beautiful little mug, and stuff is dropping over there as well. See, the devils don't want us to report on this. The demons don't want us to report on this. But that's why we continue to press forward and visibly feeding corpses to rats. Look at that, where they would force, where they have the corpses of dead prisoners be fed to rats. The average North Korean hospital doesn't have water. The world for North Koreans outside of these camps, the ones trusted to live in society, is hardly better. Multiple reports throughout the past decade suggest that the nation's hospitals are lacking the most basic food and medicinal needs, and even more alarmingly, they lack clean water. A 2010 Los Angeles Times report citing Amnesty International noted that North Korea appeared to suffer serious shortage of sterilized needles, clean water, food, and medicine, and patients are forced to undergo agonizing surgery without anesthesia. But of course, see, they're all living well. They're all living well, according to North Korean leaders. Defectors generally support this image of North Korean healthcare, testifying to the wide use of methamphetamines when medicines are unavailable and surgeries without sterilization or anesthesia. Some say the healthcare improves if citizens bribe their doctors, which with items like cigarettes. And of course, we saw that bribery is rife throughout the North Korean political regime. We saw that during service, the defectors that had crossed across the river to the Yulong River or something.
Yalu
River,
yeah.
and crossing into China. That they had to actually bribe. They walked across when it was frozen, but they had to bribe all the soldiers to not shoot them between the hours of 2 and 4.
I think they were the Tumen River, actually. Yalu is in the west, Tumen in the east. Yeah.
Okay. But they would have to bribe them, and the Korean military officials and soldiers were obviously susceptible to bribing.
Mm-hmm.
So they claim they have this utopian society. They claim they have this perfect world where everybody behaves and loves their supreme leader. But people are trying to run away, bribing people to get out, bribing people to walk across frozen lakes, etc. Rivers, etc. North Koreans are born into a strict caste system. The North Korean government keeps strict tabs on citizens by keeping detailed accounts of their family history and classifying them by songbun, a word roughly meaning background but ultimately referring to caste. According to Human Rights Watch, Kim Il-sung developed a caste system in which each citizen falls into one of 3 categories. Quote, the core, wavering, and hostile. Hostile individuals either have a personal record of descent or relatives with such records going back generations. The system gives families incentives to silence dissenters within their ranks, lest their children's prospects for a stable job and food on the table diminish greatly. See, this is what you get when you give power to the archangel. This is the same technique, the same psychological warfare, the same identifying techniques, the same surveillance techniques used by the Stasi, used by the Nazis, used by our own government. Do you understand? Western governments as well. EU, etc. The surveillance grid of the NSA and the illegal NSA and the illegal spying on the U.S. citizens is about this. Identifying the core, the wavering, and the hostile. Especially under Obama, and even more so under Hillary Rodham Clinton, who would have brought in this, who would have put this system on steroids. My goodness, people in the West are so arrogant and so spoiled, they don't believe they can slip and slide into the hands of totalitarian tyrants, which we were. They see countries like Korea and those Asian insects and, oh, we'll never be like them. That's arrogant. That's racist. What makes you impervious to slip sliding when you have a government stealing 50+% of your tax? What are you talking about? You can't slip. You already slipped and slid down the way. Give me a break. I mean, that system, the core wavering hostile, that sounds exactly like the FBI under Obama. They were putting evangelical Christians, okay, and veterans and gun owners as hostile potential domestic terrorists. Guys, pull up that FBI document. FBI document showing FBI document evangelical Christians as domestic terrorists. That is a declassified document, a real document. Give me a break. This is the United States of America literally having a North Korean system. It's not a surprise because under Operation Paperclip, they brought in the dang Nazi system and the Nazi scientists and the Nazi surveillance experts and put them in positions of power in NASA, NSA, etc. Give me a break. This is ridiculous. The first round of Songbun classification, NK News notes, involved family activity during the Japanese colonial period and the Korean War. There we go. Do we have it? There we go. Do we have the actual document? Anyways, keep looking for that document. NK News version of the cast breaks down as, quote, special, nucleus, basic, complex, and hostile. There we go. And that was from the actual slide from an FBI presentation. Do you have another image of that? Pentagon, that's it. Pentagon calls it, that's it. Pentagon calls. Check out the list of domestic hate groups by the Army. There, click that. The Army's list of domestic hate groups. There you go. Army's list of domestic hate groups or potential domestic hate groups. This is, of course, under Obama. Christian identity, look at that. Anti-gay, anti-immigration, and anti-Muslim, black separatist, Christian identity. If you have a Christian identity, you are a domestic terrorist under the Army's list of hate groups. Gave me a break. Okay, back to this article. No matter how loyal to the regime someone born in the basic or complex categories may be, their opportunities within the country to enter the nation's elite families will always be limited. What's more, anyone whose songbun is especially repugnant is barred from Pyongyang for life, condemned to live in the impoverished North Korean countryside. Watching the wrong movie could get you executed. That's how free and happy people are in North Korea. For North Koreans, any attempt to visibly think about anything other than the greatness of the Kim family will result in severe punishment. The nation's television stations, according to dissenters, play a constant loop of homages to the greatness of all three Kims, while musical performances extol the virtues of the Juche philosophy, a term used by Kim Il-sung meaning self-reliance, for which few have found a coherent definition. The few who dare to indulge in any media other than what the state allows face serious consequences. Multiple defectors have testified that those caught with smuggled videos of American movies or South Korean soap operas have been executed, on some occasions publicly, to discourage similar behavior. A 2013 report in Chungang Ilbo exposed a public execution of 80 individuals for a variety of media-related crimes. Some were executed for possessing Bibles, others for watching South Korean TV. An estimated 10,000 were forced to watch the killings throughout the country. A report 2 years later revealed a similar but private execution for possessing South Korean media. Park Yeonmi, a North Korean director, also told the story of watching a public execution as a child of the mother of one of her friends. The woman had apparently been caught possessing a Hollywood film. The North Korean government views Koreans as a master race. Both foreigners who have visited the country and defectors confirm that the North Korean government is extremely racist, and the government itself has confirmed that in a barrage of racist invective against President Obama during his tenure. Obama always goes reckless in words and deeds like a monkey in a tropical forest, the state-run Korean Central News Agency said of the president following the release of the 2014 film The Interview, over which the president had no authority. The KCNA had previously referred to Obama as a wicked black monkey and crossbreed, the Washington Post noted at the time. North Korea is among the world's least racially diverse countries, and there's no evidence that any black people live there to suffer the racism firsthand. Visitors have lived to tell the tale, however. Foreign policy notes that's the story of a Cuban ambassador who, in 1965, was attacked by a mob for being black, told in the B.R. Myers book, The Cleanest Race. The book argues that North Korea's ideology is not pure communism, but racial superiority, summarizing the Kim philosophy as the Korean people are too pure-blooded and therefore too virtuous to survive in this evil world without a great parental leader. There you go. The late Christopher Hitchens wrote with shock of a conversation he had with his minder, a designated government official who escorts North Koreans visitors all the time, in which the man explained, hopefully, that South Korea's government would soon fall under Pyongyang's rule because South Koreans were becoming mongrelized, marrying even black people. There you go. Think about how stark of a difference that is from father, who literally said, marry black people, marry white people, etc.
Yes. Marry Japanese.
North Korea's government, the New York Times noted in 2009, appeared a little more comfortable with foreigners who looked more like them. Even today, the North Korean authorities often force abortion on women who return home pregnant after going to China to find food, according to defectors and human rights groups, the newspaper reported. Shocking, but very interesting article on North Korea. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break on the King's Report.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
Car Arms. Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology, it's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood, the history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun, to the best in compact concealed carry, Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today. Carr Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology, it's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood, the history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun, to the best in compact concealed carry, Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
are back. Welcome back to the King's Report. I'm your host, Hyungji Sean Moon, the second king of Chanigoan. Happy news. Concealed carry holder stops bad guy with gun, says Texas police. Fantastic. Arlington, Texas. Police department's officials confirmed to Breitbart, Texas, that the now deceased shooter in Wednesday's night attack on a sports bar restaurant was prevented from doing significant harm, causing significant loss of life by a man with a license to carry a concealed handgun. Hey, hero, a CCW hero. The gunman entered the restaurant with two fully loaded handguns and 2 knives, according to police, trying to do another mindless terrorist attack. Just like last week, for example, in University of Texas, was it? UT? There was a stabbing. A dude just walked up with a knife. He stabbed it into a table where kids were eating lunch. And they were like, what's up with this dude? And then he just proceeded. He started slashing their throats up. And he killed one. He injured like 4. And he had like a kitchen knife. Mm-hmm. That's why on UT, they have to have people who are active military duty, whatever, or if you have CCW, you should be able to carry on campus because you got a crazy knife slasher walking around slashing throats. And one kid is dead because of that. And that's just last week. But again, here he is again in Texas. Another lunatic is trying to wreak havoc on innocent people. The gunman, 48 years old, James Jones, entered the Zona Caliente sports bar in Arlington Thursday evening and began shouting what witnesses described as strange and incoherent things. APD spokesman Lieutenant Christopher Cook told Breitbart, Texas in a phone interview Thursday. Upon hearing the commotion, restaurant manager Cesar Perez, 37, approached Jones to attempt to calm him down. Cook said at that point, restaurant video revealed that Jones pulled one of his guns and shot Perez, killing him. Wow. Hearing the argument escalating at the end of the bar, a man having dinner with his wife became concerned about the situation that was growing dangerous. He instructed his wife to get on the ground before the shooting began, Cook explained. When Jones opened fire on Perez, the customer pulled out his own handgun from the concealment and engaged a bad guy. There you go. When the suspect was struck the first time, Lieutenant Cook explained, the video shows he appears unaware of where the gunfire is coming from. He turns towards the door, perhaps thinking police have entered, and begins firing multiple shots in that direction. He said the concealed handgun license holder continued firing until the suspect was no longer a threat. The suspect died at the scene. Bam! 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 That's what you do to deranged lunatics trying to kill people and mass murder people. That's what you do. That's your fate. Dead and cold on the ground by a hero who was concealed carrying. I met Sheriff Buki yesterday at the luncheon. He said, he's the
county sheriff.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's amazing. He said, he's the gun-toting pastor. He loves us. He's amazing. What an amazing patriot. He's such an incredible guy. I mean, just we're so blessed to have a sheriff like him. We don't want him to retire, man. He's got to have literally a clone of Sheriff Buki to be the next sheriff. I mean, he's incredible. Cook verified the civilian was not properly licensed to carry a handgun, and the restaurant is one that it is legal for a license to carry holder to enter. What do you mean? What do you mean it's legal? What do you mean a restaurant was legal? What the heck is this? I guess Texas has some kind of, don't tell me that's a law, that if they have a blue sign establishment, they allow, and if you don't have that, you can't walk into a restaurant without your concealed carry. No. See, your rights don't apply. Your rights apply everywhere. You understand? There's not some cordon off area where your rights are all of a sudden disappear. Just like when they're doing the what's that meeting? The Bilderberg meeting. They have little First Amendment right sections and circles fenced in. They were trying to do that with the federal government in the U.S. under Obama was trying to do that with the what were the ranchers out there? What were the ranchers' names out there that were being persecuted?
I don't remember the names.
Remember the generations? They had like 3 generations. Mm-hmm. They're out there, and they were being persecuted by the Obama administration. It was a huge standoff. Mm-hmm. What were the ranchers' names? Oh man, what were the ranchers' names? Oh, so Clive and Bundy, the Bundys, and they were out there, literally sectioning off piece of the desert with little. Yeah, Bundy. I got it. And they had little orange fences for the people, like little animals, to quote First Amendment rights, and they would say First Amendment area. Pull up those pictures, guys. First Amendment area, Bundy standoff. Absolutely ridiculous. No, our right for free speech is given to us by God, and we can voice our speech, not in some cordoned off, globalist, fenced off area made by political Satanists to say that we only can express ourselves there. No, anywhere. Anywhere. And the right to carry as well is a right to self-defense, especially for the weak, the handicapped, for the elderly, etc. That is their only means of defense to ward off any type of predator on this planet. And that right should not stop at some establishment, including a university, in this case, a restaurant. He said the shooting will be referred to the Tarrant County grand jury per normal procedure, but he expects the intervener will not face any charges. Wow. Notice the unlicensed possession of a weapon on this premises is a felony with maximum penalty of 10 years imprisonment and a fine not to exceed $10,000 by the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. Look at that. Another governmental bureau, useless bureau, trying to ban people from being able to defend themselves while eating.
Another sign in other Texas restaurants says, "Firearms welcome. Please keep all weapons holstered, and unless need arises, in such a case, judicious marksmanship is appreciated."
There you go. But think about it. Think about this restaurant, right? If it was a, quote, blue zone area, I'm sorry, a prohibited zone area, a gun-free zone area, that dude would have came in with two handguns fully loaded, two knives, and he would have been a blast out not only Perez's brains, but he would have been able to kill so many more people. And the citizens would have to just sit there watching themselves slow motion dying as he pulls the trigger in slow motion and blasts their brains out. You're telling me you care for the citizens and you want them to be in that scenario if that insanity arises? Are you crazy? These people don't love you. They want to control you. They want to tell you and perch on top of you saying that you can have this right, you can't have this right because we said so. We're the commission. We're the bureaucracy. We're God. No. No. We have a right to self-defense wherever we go to. The weak, elderly, handicapped are the most vulnerable. The CEO of this restaurant was just trying to calm this dude down, and he pulled out and shot him in the head and killed him. And if that hero, CCW hero, didn't stand up and put that fool down, countless lives may have been lost. Countless. But of course, CNN or MSNBC will never cover this story. Right? They will never cover it. Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Cliven Bundy, First Amendment area. There you go. The orange fences. There you are. The orange fence. This is the United States, folks, okay? This is how insane we became under the Obama administration, and Hillary Clinton would have only exacerbated this. Look at that. First Amendment area. Bam! So they're saying, okay, you can only have your free speech in that area. That's exactly what the Bilderberg Group does. That's exactly what the Davos Group does. A group of unelected bureaucrat predators that perch on top of nations, literally thinking they're gods, saying that you must obey what they say, they make the rules, they rule your life, they own you. They are demons, devils, political Satanists, and they need to be put in line. That's why Chen Yiguk needs to come, my friend. Chen Yiguk must come. Cook explained APD is conducting a deep dive search on Jones's background. He could not confirm if the gunman has a criminal history. He said they're investigating to determine if he was under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or drugs, or if he had any mental health issues. The motivation behind the attack is still unknown. Cook confirmed that Jones does not have a license to carry a handgun. He expects investigators will conduct a search of the suspect's home and computers for signs of a motive. Notice that All the laws on the books don't stop people from getting guns. It only stops good guys from getting guns. It only stops people who could have stopped these crimes from getting guns. Notice that the criminals always can get guns on a black market, you dumb freaks. People need to have the right to self-defense. It is a God-given right to defend your life and the life of others. Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your soul, all your mind, all your heart, and all your strength. And he said the second is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. The right of self-defense is not only to defend ourselves, but it's also to defend other lives, which of course this hero, CCW hero, did. Praise God. Praise God for that man. Our condolences go out for that, the victims, but we thank God for the CCW holder who was there eating dinner with his wife. He saved the day. God used him to save the day. Go ahead, Tim.
So I was just checking on the Texas gun laws, and for a bar or business that makes 51% of their money from the sale of alcohol, all guns are banned, even if you have a concealed handgun license. And also, people can put up what's called a 30.06 sign, which also allows a restaurant owner to bar guns. And recently, Texas passed an open carry law, and some restaurants are allowed by law and have chosen to bar open carry in their restaurants. So apparently this restaurant owner was wise enough not to go along with any of these laws.
There you go. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report. On our final segment, I'm your host, Hyungjin Sean Moon, the second king of Cheongguk, broadcasting live from the Cheongguk Palace on this rainy day, but beautiful day. Zionist Org of America, disgrace for New York taxpayers to fund bigot Linda Sarsour's speech. Here is the Sharia law promoting insano Linda Sarsour. Warren Klein, the president of the Zionist Organization of America, has addressed a letter to New York Governor Cuomo, expressing his shock and horror that leftist Sharia advocate and alleged terrorist supporter Linda Sarsour was tapped by CUNY's Graduate School of Public Health and Public Policy as their commencement speaker, urging him to cancel her appearance at the taxpayer-funded university. Sarsour is a bigot and a divider, Klein wrote. It disgraces the state and the city of New York for a taxpayer-funded university to confer this honor on her. You know that CUNY, of all places, should be not be elevating and honoring Linda Sarsour, given the recent appalling revelations of anti-Semitism on several CUNY campuses. He pointed out that Sarsour's values conflict with American values, of course, because she supports Sharia law. Barbara Aaron, Chief of Staff of CUNY Graduate School of Public Health Dean Ayan Al-Mahandes, told the Daily Caller, I'm delighted to confirm that Linda Sarsour will indeed speak at our June 1 commencement at the Apollo Theater. In his letter, Klein was on the list several reasons that should disqualify Sarzer from delivering the keynote speak at CUNY. He explained, Sarzer openly supports the anti-Semitic boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement against Israel. She also supports the right of the Jewish state of Israel to exist, expressing her unbridled hatred on Twitter with statements such as nothing is creepier than Zionism and Netanyahu is a waste of a human being. There she is with her tweets. Nothing is creepier than Zionism. Her posting there. She looks like some kind of geisha like spirit, or like a zombie or something. Netanyahu is a waste of a human being. There she goes. Linda Sarsour, the tolerant leftist Sharia pro-Sharia leftist lunatic. Furthermore, Klein points out that Sarsour praises the act of young Arab children throwing rocks at Israeli soldiers as the definition of courage. Look at this. Look at this. She promotes this kind of picture where young children are being trained to fight Israeli soldiers, throwing rocks at them, and she says that's the definition of courage. Hashtag Palestine. There you go. New York Assemblyman Dov Hinkind similarly chastised Sarsour in a video message last week, asking her to explain her support for terrorism. You think this is a courageous act to pick up rocks and throw them at cars, Hinkind posited. In 2013, a 2-year-old girl went into a coma after Palestinians pelted the car she was in with rocks, forcing the car to crash. Adele Biton was in a coma for 2 years before succumbing to her injuries and developing pneumonia. She died when she was 4. Klein noted that after receiving justifiable backlash from New York City Council member Rory Lantzman and other sources tweeted, the Zionist trolls are out to play, bring it. Sarsour also tweeted her support for the Intifada, the term for the Palestinian-Arab terror war against Jews in Israel, describing it as invaluable on many fronts. And look, for all the flaws of the Middle East and Israel, Israel is still a bastion of more freedom and responsibility and democracy than the surrounding Arab states. My goodness. I mean, in Israel, yes, the women have to do military service 2 years, but they can wear bikinis. They can go university. They can believe Christianity.
They can drive their cars.
They can drive cars. Look, I'm not against bikinis. I love it when the Queen wears bikinis for me. Okay? I get to see a beautiful bikini lady every day. You understand? I ain't against bikinis. Okay? But, and Chun Yu-gung too, but the point is of our talk yesterday with bikinis, in Chun Yu-gung, it's not going to be banned to wear a bikini. Bikinis are not going to be banned. There's no federal government that's going to be banning. Okay? But of course, there will be morals and ethics and values. And of course, in the King of Kings, kingship palace, where there is, which has to set not only a political, but also a religious example, it's not good to have pool bikini parties at the palace of the King of Kings kingship line. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. Anyways, the point is Israel is way more free than any of the surrounding Arab nations. They want to destroy it, get rid of it completely because it's that little bastion of freedom. But of course, they're smart. They are armed and they are ready, and that's why they cannot mess with Israel. There she goes, also tweeting very completely racist and bigoted things. Ayaan Hirsi Ali, who was genitally mutilated because she was Muslim, born Muslim. Bridget Gabriel equals Ayaan Hirsi Ali, another Christian who was completely persecuted and her family, many of her family members killed in Lebanon. I believe it's Lebanon as well. Lebanese Christians used to be huge, and also there used to be lots of freedom in Lebanon until the Muslims took it over. The Saudi-backed Muslim, by the way. She's asking for an ass whooping. I wish I could take their vaginas away. They don't deserve to be women. Bam! Look at how bigoted, look how misogynistic, look how control freak, look at how totalitarian, look how evil this woman is. And of course, the left supporting her in their women march parades is unprecedented, unabashed evil. And of course, this woman supports Sharia law. So again, what a shame that CUNY is asking her to be their main speaker. What a pathetic shame. Tom Fitton Comey has repeatedly and improperly protected Clinton and her top people from consequences of criminal behavior. That is Comey right there, who continues to cover for the leftist lunatic. He is a leftist lunatic, and that FBI head is a great traitor to this country, doing a full investigation on Hillary, finding nothing. Doing a full investigation on Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner, finding nothing, apparently. Yeah, finding nothing. Oh, I forgot about the 36,000 emails that were deleted, that were literally acid washed. Oh, but no, there's nothing we found. Give me a break. Give me a break. On top headlines, Cuban man who interrupted the May Day waving U.S. flag is missing, says family. Brave man who was running down the street with the American flag is now gone. That's what happens to you in tolerant communist countries, folks. There you go. Chinese troops training for refugee influx on North Korean border. Don't move or I'll shoot. There you can see them training in mock scenarios with refugees. Clinton cash. Author sounds alarm over Kushner-Soros tie. Schweitzer calls for independent audit of Kushner finances. Tim reported a couple days ago with Kushner's banking deal with George Soros for $1 billion.
Investment relationship, yes.
Incredible. Kushner, of course, now being exposed as the weak link and the link to globalism and political Satanism in the Trump administration. Series of explosions rock Madrid, leaving at least 15 wounded. Cause of blast in tourist hotspot unknown. That's the wall Trump promised. Spicer and Breitbart journalists clash over Mexican border barrier. When shown a slide of Trump's proposed border wall during the daily press briefing, Breitbart's Charlie Spearing asked Spicer with incredulity, so that's the wall Trump promised? Trump on Susan Rice not testifying, not good. Rice refused to testify because the senior Democrat on the subcommittee was not involved in the invitation. President Trump on Thursday criticized Susan Rice for refusing to testify before a Senate subcommittee about alleged Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential race. Susan Rice, the former National Security Advisor to President Obama, is refusing to testify before a Senate subcommittee next week on allegations of unmasking Trump transition officials, the president tweeted. Not good. There you go, unmasking them illegally, exposing Americans to illegal surveillance and illegal exposure.
The committee may have to subpoena her now.
Unprecedented. There you go, folks. That's the top headlines for today, Friday, May 5th, 2017. Thank you for joining us today on the King's Report. Remember that the kingdom of God and the citizens of the kingdom of God must stand in their place. Kings and queens of your tribal lineage, stand with the King of Kings and his kingship and the kingdom of God. Rise up. Know who you are. Have dominion. Have sovereignty. Have the right of self-defense. Have your true gifts exercised that are given to you by God himself. We give him all the praise, glory, and honor this day. Go outside, experience the weather, experience nature, experience creation. Give glory to him today. We hope that you have a great and blessed day this day. Pray for us. Pray for Trump. Pray for the president. Pray for our world. We need your prayers. We'll see you back on Monday on the King's Report, 5 a.m. We'll see you Sunday on Sunday service. And we pray that all things will work out for the good in those who believe. We give him praise, glory, and honor this day. God bless, Godspeed, and may his kingdom come. We'll see you next time.
There's freedom, though you've captured me. Yeah, I've got joy instead of